Good evening and welcome to Senior Night.
Well, good evening. Welcome to Hallandale Beach, Florida, where we are Friday night under the lights. Chris Jenkins and Glenn Stout prepared to bring in some undefeated action here on HSPN. The question is, do we have two teams that are going to stay? Which of the two teams, I guess I should say, is going to stay undefeated, as we've got some great athletes prepared to take the field tonight?
Well, we're looking forward to may not be a high flyer, but I can tell you that we got one team that only allows 10 points a game, which is Hallandale Beach Chargers. We got another team that puts about 40, 50 points on. We saw 68 of them last week, or 63 of them last week, in the name of Boynton Beach Tigers. All I know is this is for all the marbles today. This is 6A district champions. This may be big, besides Central, this may be bigger than the state championship up in Orlando, and that's nothing taken away from Central. You're an incredible power, but this game today is 15, 16 Division I players that are going to be out there just flying around.
And you have got Boynton Beach, of course, that you spoke to earlier, taking on the Chargers here on their home turf. And this is a 6A 15 district matchup, and this is for all the marbles. So it's going to be a good one. We're going to definitely see some great athletes doing their thing tonight.
We've got Damian Jones for the Hallandale Chargers, and we've got Coach Swain over there on the Boynton Beach side. We were able to watch them last week. We know what kind of firepower that Lamar Jackson has. We're in a high school press box. They're trying to beat down the door next to me. We've got a low stream. AT&T's giving us a little bit of a stream, but I'll tell you what, we are going to get it done for you tonight because we know that you're watching us all over the country. We're going to go for a really quick break, and then we're going to let these people through. But I understand that we're going to let them through anyways, and we're going to get over here where we're out of the camera. Chris, I'll tell you, I love being in a high school press box. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and there's a lot of people asking us questions at the door. But we're going to get through this because this is one of the biggest games probably in the nation right now.
Oh, absolutely. You just spoke to it, the fact that you've got all of these athletes double digits in Division I prospects, and it's going to be very interesting to see which, and I couldn't get it out in the open, which one of these two teams is going to stay undefeated in the quest for a state championship, of course.
Well, I can tell you that I'm going to give you some of the impact players for tonight's game, and we're going to give them for both sides. We're going to start over on the Hallandale Charger side. Hallandale is 8-0. 4-0 in the district. Both of these teams are undefeated and undefeated in the district. As I said before, you got head coach Damian Jones. This is 6A 15. They're maroon and white. Their first impact player tonight is number 1, Tyler Huntley. Watch Tyler. He'll be all over the place. He's a quarterback. Our second impact player for tonight's game is going to be Shamar Kilby Lane. That's a linebacker, number 3. Now, let me tell you, that's Freight Train Lane. I've been watching some of his videos, and that young man is going to lay the wood on some people. You've got number 2, Taj McGowan. He's a running back, an explosive running back. He can hit it from anywhere, especially on a dry track. Hallandale's top athletes tonight, as I said, Tyler Huntley. He's got offers from FAU, Appalachian State. He's a playmaker. He averages 2 touchdowns a game. Shamar Kilby Lane, number 3 linebacker. He's a senior. Tyler is a junior. Kilby Lane is a senior. He's got offers. He's committed to FSU, offers in Alabama and Arkansas. We've got number 2, Taj McGowan. He's a running back. He's a senior. He's got offers committed to UCF. He's got over 700 yards rushing, 13 TDs, 11 yards per average. Number 11, Malik Henderson, with offers to University of Kent. He happens to be our scholar athlete as well for the game with a 3.8 GPA. He will graduate early. He has 1 interception, 12 tackles, 9 pass breakups, no pass completed, over 5 yards. Folks, did you hear that? He has no receiver that has caught a ball over 5 yards on him, and no touchdowns. So guess who he'll be covering tonight? I can tell you, give you one name, probably Chauncey Mason. So those are the top athletes for Hallandale. Let's jump over to Boynton Beach Tigers. coached by Rick Swan, 6'8", purple and gold. Their impact players tonight, there's number 7, Lamar Jackson, who is the quarterback. He is all over there, Mr. Everything, strong, versatile, and when he gets to the end zone, he likes to show a DB a few things. Very impressive young man. Number 1 is Dante Salinsu, the wide receiver. The third impact player, as I said earlier, is number 21, Chauncey Mason. Chauncey can catch it, play it from anywhere. He also returns punts and sometimes kicks. So the top athletes on the Boynton Beach Tigers side of the ball. Lamar Jackson, quarterback, senior, committed to Louisville. Offers from South Carolina, Mississippi State. Number 21, Chauncey Mason, wide receiver. He is also a senior. Got offers from Southern Miss. Number 1, wide receiver Dante Salinsu, senior. Offers all over the place. ESPN 4-star. Number 5, Jordan Calvin, wide receiver, senior. Offers from Middle Tennessee, Bowling Green, Southern Miss. Number 4, Xander Bernard. He is a fullback, yes, a fullback, pro-style offense. Senior, offers from Oregon State. Number 27, Quentin Wilcher, a linebacker. Senior, offers from Akron, Bowling Green, and he's not committed yet. Number 3, Traquan Smith, defensive back. Senior, offers from Duke and NIU. And number 12, Hendrickson Brochure, defensive back. He is a freshman, folks, a freshman defensive back and a playmaker. He has 4 interceptions. The scholar athlete for the Boynton Beach Tigers, number 56, Romaine Smith, with a 4.6 GPA. So, Chris, they are stacked. They are loaded. We've got a big game tonight. We got a little rain that had to mess things up a little bit. We're at the front of a press box, a high school press box, where they're coming through, but we're going to get them in and get them out and get to it. Any thoughts when you talk to these coaches on the sidelines?
Well, as you just mentioned, tight quarters, of course, but we're going to make it work. But in talking to Coach Jones and Coach Swain, both of them respect the other, of course. But you've got some serious strategizing that needs to take place, and a lot of good things that has to take place, in particular for Boynton Beach. They do come in undefeated 10-0. You've got Hallandale coming in at 9-0, both undefeated in district play at 4-0. But according to Coach Swain, they definitely got to avoid the 6 turnovers that they had last week. In spite of that, came out with the 63-58 win, battling with Coconut Creek. But they definitely got to limit the 6 turnovers that they had. Now, keep in mind, we talked about one of the impact players, or you did, Glenn, in Xander Bernard. He will not be in action tonight. It wasn't disclosed to us why, but he will not be playing. He is injured, and he is one of the main cogs in the wheel for Boynton Beach. He will be out, as well as center Mike Vardis. So we'll see if Boynton can overcome that. But they definitely want to limit the turnovers, according to Coach Swain, and cover kicks, maintain defensive strategy, have to play well in a lot of areas. Looking at Hallandale, according to Coach Jones, want to be mistake-free, disciplined, and make plays. As we've got the national anthem, we'll pause for that and pick it back up as we're just about to get it going here from Hallandale Beach.
Well, there we go, the national anthem. We're getting ready to rumble. Both teams are getting ready to come out. A couple of quick stats on the Hallandale Beach side. First downs 103. Rushing yards 137 for 1,107 yards. Passing yards 1,542. Passes 83 with 133 attempts. Only 2 picks. And they've only lost a couple of fumbles. A lot of penalty yards may come into a factor tonight. 1,178. They've done very well. Like I told you, the opponent for them is only average 10 yards, 10 points a game. Hallandale averages 40 points a game. Let's take a look at Boynton Beach. Lamar Jackson, impact player, 98 attempts, 821 yards. He's got 15 touchdowns. Chauncey Nation, 3 touchdowns, 403 yards. Bernard Zander, he's got 7 touchdowns. On the receiving side, you got Dante Salensi, 25 receptions, 405 yards, 8 touchdowns. They're wiping out opponents 50, 60 points. And those are your numbers for the game. They got the captains out there, Chris, getting ready to get this thing going. Very important game for these young men. Some of them will never suit up again. A lot of them will go on to the playoffs. But after tonight, it's over for a bunch of them.
Absolutely. You look at Boynton Beach, and we were there for that shootout last week. And simply put, as Jackson goes, so do they. And trust me when I tell you, Hallandale knows that. And their key is going to be to stop him. They're going to key in on him all night. You spoke to the fact he's got over 800 yards rushing thus far. So it's going to be very key for Boynton Beach to stop him. And you look at Hallandale, and they run a pro-style offense. Of course, they're going to be in the gray, and the visitors in the white. And we're going to have a good one. Should be a shootout. Both of these teams averaging a lot of points. Boynton Beach coming in averaging around 50 points per game, only allowing 17. And as you spoke to, Glenn, Hallandale averaging, or giving up, I should say, only around 10 points per game. On a 9-game win streak, they're averaging 40 points per game coming into this. So we should expect a high-scoring affair, but a lot of key plays are going to have to be made defensively in the end.
Yeah, they're going to have a dry track. I know I see the mud. Last night it was a muddy track. Completely different football championship at an independent level. But I can tell you right now, this is a fast track, and we're going to see if Hallandale is able to hold these Tigers down to their average. I think it may be a 30, 40-point game going both ways, but I'll tell you, we're going to find out real quick after the first bumps come in and that adrenaline comes down and they're able to move the ball around, and we're going to find it out real quick which one wants to win that district title.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got a roster shortage here. We don't have Boynton Beach, but we got the impact players. Coaches brought one, and we're going to go off of the impact players. We got plenty of them. We're going to get it done for you. So if we don't name somebody from Boynton Beach, it's because we didn't get a roster from the folks from the other side. So, in saying that, we're all set. We're ready for the kickoff, and let's get ready to rumble.
Two undefeated teams going at it here from Charger Stadium in Class 6A15. District Championship on the line. Good stuff coming up wherever you may be watching or listening. We're glad you're tuning in. Chris Jenkins and Glenn Stout set to bring you the action.
I'm ready, and some of the sponsors tonight that are bringing us to you. We've got Bleacher.com doing all the graphics.
Chauncey Mason,
and we're going to get to live
one of the
action
key
right
players
now.
back deep. And Tigers get a strong return up across the 30-yard line, and that's what they'll take over 1st and 10. We got an injured player coming out the gates immediately down. for the Tigers. Of course, as I said, Tigers in white and the Chargers in the gray and maroon.
Looks like Levon Brown was down.
He's up and
Here we
off
go.
the field under his own power. That's good. So as we spoke about, Jackson in the QB spot in the pistol formation, coming out with 2 wides to the far and near. Just underway.
I got you loud and clear.
And first play is a run straight up the gut. Gain of about 3 on the play.
On the tackle was Jalen Falk, defensive back, junior for the Chargers.
And Jordan Galvan on the carry, Glenn. We got a second down and about 7 coming up. Spread set, empty backfield. They go with the little reverse, and Jackson keeps it and powers up for about 12 yards. That'll move the sticks. First down of the contest, and Boynton's on the move.
Yeah, he had kind of that option zone read where that slot comes around and he can either give it or go, and he read that tackle crashing down, and he took the ball for a first down.
Jackson will probably go with a pistol look most of the night. He's in that formation once again with a 3 wide receiver set. In motion. Minimal gain. I shouldn't say minimal. They even lost probably about 6 or 7. So big time defensive stop.
By Jawan Taylor, number 4.
So we've got a second down, and we'll call it about 16 on the loss.
I got to tell you, after this play.
Jackson puts it up in the air, incomplete. Outstretched arms that time. Trying to come up with it was number 1, Dante Salinsu.
I got to tell you, our main man, Lazaro Suarez, he heard us crying for help, and he came with it. Emailed us a roster. That's Bleacher.com. Thank you, Lazaro, for the Boynton Beach roster. There's more than one way to skin a cat, folks. This is high school football brought to you by HSPN live in Hallandale, Florida, and we just love being here.
So a third down and about 15 coming up on the incomplete pass to Salinsu for Jackson. And they're going to go deep once again, trying to go long, complete.
That was the 15. There's Stad. Right out the outstretched hand. He had a step on the defender.
I got you, Coach. Go ahead. Talk to me.
Number 41 was defending him. That's Linville Sutherland.
So the incomplete pass forces a 4th and down. And the Tigers forced to punt. And you get this one high. Some good hang time. Takes a Tiger bounce. Nice. It's going to roll inside or right around the 10, and that's where it'll die. And Chargers will have it 1st and 10 at their own 11, we'll call it. As we've said, both these two teams coming in undefeated, 9-0 and 10-0. And one will come out with a district championship and be flying high going into 6A playoff action. So Chargers get their first crack at it, but deep inside their own territory. And go with the empty backfield and forced to just heave it up. Incomplete. Pass intended for Richie Cooper.
Hey, he convinced the referee to throw that flag. It was number 1. Looked like decent coverage. That was Dante Salinsu. Again, it was a jump ball. maybe he didn't have his head turned back.
And coming right out the gates, Tyler Huntley, one of our impact players that we've mentioned, major heat put on him. He couldn't even set up to get that one off, just had to heave it up there. So there's a flag on the play, and we've got pass interference called against the Tigers. That'll move it 15 yards and put the Chargers in decent field position.
Salinsu, I saw the replay, Salinsu was on top of his back.
So they'll start off with a fresh set of downs from their own 25 now to get it going. Pistol formation, 3 wides to the near, 1 to the far. Huntley tries to complete the screen pass, and off the fingertips of Taj McCowan.
Great play by Quentin Wiltshire, who defended that one, and if it had been a little farther backwards, he'd have taken it up, taken it to the house.
Yep, absolutely. So 2nd down and 10. Chargers at their own 25.
2nd and 10 for the Chargers.
Beautiful night. We got a little breeze off the ocean.
Huntley takes a 3-step drop, coming out of the pistol, floats this one up, incomplete, but tried to squeeze that one in there, and if the safety doesn't fall, that's an interception.
Oh my goodness, and if it had been a good play, Malik Fleming, who did go down, it would have been 6 points.
I believe covering on that was Jeremy Mingle. Check that, Malik Fleming actually on the coverage for Boynton Beach. So 3rd down and 10 from the 25, and we've got a flag on the play. Delay of game.
9:45 in the first quarter. It's 0-0. Chargers and the Tigers on HSPN South Florida. Got Chris Jenkins here with Glenn Stout, and we appreciate all of you tuning in around the country and those 70 countries around the world.
So shotgun for Huntley. Decides to go long. And a nice catch right at the sticks. Did he pull it in? Yes, he did. Nice.
Wow.
Pulling that one in. He just yanked it out of the air. That'll move the sticks. 1st and 10. First official 1st down for the Chargers.
That was impressive. Richie made deep out, and he knew where the marker was. Caught it right on the marker. That is heads-up play.
So pistol formation once again for Huntley. They keep it on the ground. Flag comes in after the play. We'll see if this one stands or comes back. And we've got a holding call, so that'll negate the 3-yard carry. Take it back 10. And it'll bring up a 1st and 20.
1st and 20 for the Chargers.
So they move back to the original line of scrimmage before they made the big play. Be 1st and 20 from their own 25. No score thus far here in this one. First quarter action. Coming up on the 9-minute mark in 6A, 15 district action for all the marbles. This is the district championship you're watching here from Hallandale Beach, Florida, here on HSPN. Huntley with extra protection, now man in motion. They complete the screen pass, has some room but slips, or he might have had somewhere to go, Glenn, on that play.
That was number 10 on the reception, Rodney Holmes. You're absolutely correct.
We got 2nd and long for the Chargers.
So they're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain on the play, so still a 2nd and 20 coming up.
2nd and forever.
2 wides to the far and near. Protector in the background for Huntley. He goes with the hard count. I think he might have gotten it. And false start actually against the Chargers. So that's going to back them up 5. Looked like Huntley might have initially got the Tigers to jump, but the officials are talking about it. So they haven't officially moved the ball. So he's going to actually change the call, and that is encroachment against the Tigers. So he reversed the call, moves it up 5, and we've got a 2nd and 15 coming up.
About 2nd and 16 for the Chargers.
Say that again.
Pistol set once again for Huntley. 4 wide receiver set, and puts this one up. Completes it to the far side, shaking the defender. Picking up maybe 3 or so on the catch.
That was number 8 on the reception. That was Nuru Nishaka.
So a 3rd, and we'll call it 12 coming up for the Chargers. On their first series of the contest, still no score in this one. 7:55 and counting here, first quarter of play. And they go with a bunch set on this one, and still decide to go with a pass. 5-step drop, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, almost picked off.
Number 5 was on the reception. Joshua Hammond. And number 1, Dante Sinusu. We're going to say it wrong all night, but he's going to be in the plays. Silensu. All night long, too.
Chris Cotto back set to punt. And back deep. He'll let it roll, though. Is actually Dante Silensu. Lets it go, and it will die right around, we'll call it the 25, and that is where the Tigers will take over 1st and 10 with their 2nd possession of the contest. And still no score here from Charger Stadium in Hallandale Beach, Florida. Here on HSPN. Brought to you by Bleacher.com. Glad you could join us for tonight's action. Jackson looking for the play in the shotgun. See if he can get loose. And they go with the run. They keep it on the ground. And nice. Nice patience shown that time.
That's number 21 running the ball.
And Chauncey Mason for Boynton.
Going to hear Chauncey's name a lot tonight.
As we've said, one of the key players for Boynton, the leading rusher Xander Bernard, out tonight. They keep it on the ground once again, and only maybe a gain of 1 if we're being generous for the Tigers. So that's going to bring up
Well, 2nd and 9, and it's a tight game, Chris. A tight game tonight.
Defensive battle so far, yeah. Jackson in the pistol once again with the 4 wide receiver set, and gets a bot snap, goes through his hands, has to fall on it, and a big time loss for the Tigers.
Last time we watched Boynton Beach, it was all offense.
Absolutely. 63 points, folks, last week against Coconut Creek. I don't think they're going to score that amount tonight, but they put it up on the scoreboard in a big way last week. But a loss on the play brings up a 3rd down forever, probably about 20 to be exact, coming up. and they're going to be backed up even further.
The penalty on the play. It'll bring up a third and a lot.
Wow.
There's a water break on the field.
And I don't know if that was 10 or 15 yards on a penalty, but that backs them up into the wilderness. And as they take a break, take a timeout, we will as well. You're watching high school football Friday night style here on HSPN South Florida.
Beautiful night down here in South Florida, Hallandale Beach, Florida, watching HSPN primetime Friday night District 6 playoff, two high-powered teams, but the Hallandale Beach Chargers only allow 10 points a game, and I can see that defense is putting it on the Tigers. Here we go deep.
And the Tigers trying to go deep and off the fingertips of the intended receiver. They almost had it.
Wow.
About to make it happen were the Tigers.
And I almost talked too
Jordan
quick.
Calvan, the intended receiver, on that one.
We didn't even go trick-or-treating and they're bringing us candy. I love it. Give me a little sugar. Here.
So they will have a fourth down from inside their own 15 and have to punt it away when we were not able to find out the specifics of that penalty pushing them back, but they will give it back to the Chargers. Chargers looking real good and will possibly have it around midfield for their second possession.
That defender on that play was Malik Henderson, and he is our scholar athlete tonight with a 3.8. Wow.
And Calvin gets the punt off, stays in, and actually it dies just short of the 40-yard line. So the Chargers in business inside of Tiger territory for their second possession. Still no score in this one. 5:31 on the clock here from Charger Stadium. Chargers in the gray and maroon, Tigers in the white and purple.
You can tell they don't punt them. They don't punt a lot. When they've got 40, 50 points a game, they do not punt a lot, and it just showed on that punt that didn't get past the original line of scrimmage. There we go.
So Chargers will take over 1st and 10. Right around the 35, I think we'll call it. Huntley goes straight up top,
Right
and that's
open.
going to be the first score. Touchdown, Chargers.
That's number 5, Joshua Hammond, on a score, and there's no referees are looking. Yes, there is dirty laundry. It's holding on the Chargers, so they're going to bring it back. That was
Wow.
a wide open flag pattern, and there was no safety out there covering Hammond.
Straight man-to-man coverage, Glenn, and he just beat his defender, but it's all going to come back, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, my.
So Chargers in business, took it to the house, 35 yards out, but it will not count. Holding Chargers, that'll take it back 10.
Oh, my. Well, I can guarantee you that they'll go to that play again.
So ball spotted around the 47, we'll call it, and that is where the Chargers will take over. 1st and 20. Huntley in the pistol. Gives it up. Keep it on the ground. McGowan on the carry. We'll give him about 4 yards on the carry. Still 2nd and long coming up. Still no score here in this one. Two teams averaging some big time scoring. Hallandale averaging around 40 points per game. Boynton Beach around 50. So 2nd down, 16 we'll call it. Right around midfield. Huntley, empty backfield, rolls out, trying to find somewhere to go.
Great
and
throw.
completes this one.
4:40 on the clock. First quarter.
82 for the Chargers.
I think that one was complete to Richie Cooper.
Picked up about 5 on it, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, very manageable. 3rd down coming up for the Chargers. Still trying to get on the board. Still no score here in this one. 4:33 on the clock. And
Fumble.
a botch snap, and still rolling around. And I think Huntley finally fell on it.
He did.
So a wasted opportunity right there
Snap.
for Hallandale.
Wasn't a bad snap. He just fumbled it, and then the running back tried to grab it, and it went back down on the turf. Good thing it bounced back to him.
And we got our first timeout.
Hallandale, their first half.
That's 4:12 in the first quarter. It's 0-0 ball game. We had a quarter pattern called back.
School safety music.
And we want to give some thanks to our sports bloggers in the nation live streaming tonight's game. Bleacher.com, FloridaHighSchoolFootball.com, FloridaGridironPreps.com, and FloridaVarsity.com. Thank you for your support.
And thank you for your fans that are watching from around the nation.
Vote yes for the bomb.
So no score here in this one. Two teams putting up some big points. I think that they're trying to still fill each other out here in this one. With only 4:12 here in the first quarter play. Field a little bit slippery possibly because it did rain for about 15-20 minutes prior to kickoff. So we'll have to watch the turnovers tonight. As we talked about, Boynton Beach 6 turnovers in their last outing, with Coconut Creek still able to overcome that though.
Well, I think they're going to go back to that corner pattern real soon.
Huntley, empty backfield as we're back to action. Rolls to the near side, incomplete. That would have been a tough one to pull in. Pass intended for Niru Shaka. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct.
He was wide open.
Yes.
There wasn't a defender around him. Turnover on downs. We're getting ready for a punt.
It'll be a pooch one if they go that route. They are in deep enough Tiger territory. Could possibly see some sort of a fake.
Either that or a delay a game, moving back 5 more yards. It's 4:05 on the clock.
Actually,
quarter.
Chargers have it back, so we must have missed something, Glenn.
They went for it on 4th down.
And they're going to put it up. Jackson completes it.
Oh, my goodness. He almost got tomahawked in half. I thought it was going to be a pick, but number 15, Malachi Ellis, or it could be Aristad. I'm not sure which one. We've got 2 number 15s. It's Aristide, I understand from the box. He is open. Oh boy, could have been a big hit put on him.
On the completion, that'll move the sticks forward. Charge on the ground and gain about, we'll call him 4 on the pickup.
Jordan Galvin on a little bit of a misdirection. 3:28 and counting in the first quarter.
And still no score from either one of these teams. Tigers got the ball back on an attempted 4th down play. It snuck right by us by the Chargers in their last series. Still no score thus far. And keeping it on a run. Fake option is Jackson. Got some big time yards. And sprints to the house. Tigers strike first, touchdown.
Jackson sprints right down to the goal line, and he stops and looks around. That was the first play against Coconut Creek last week when he took it 65 yards to the house. Same play.
And that one,
safeties were up.
a 51-yard jaunt.
Looks like they were in cover 2. They got caught up.
And he made it look so easy with those long legs. Just took about, it looked like 15, 20 strides and was there. had to slow himself up.
He
So-
could see the goal line. He turned on the afterburners, and about the 10, he slows it down. He's got a little signature move that he hadn't been called on, but he's been doing it all year. He gets right to that goal line and just looks back and kind of tiptoes over. Well,
Tigers strike first. Extra point attempt is good. We've got a 7-0 score here from Charger Stadium.
2:56, it happened on the clock in the first quarter, and there you go. The Tigers do strike first. Chargers had one called back. It's important that they get on the clock.
And of course, that was one of the things that Coach Jones talked about, slowing down Jackson. He was able to turn on the afterburners with that option, read option play that's become popular, of course, even in the NFL. And we'll see if the Chargers can answer. 7-0 to score, 2:56 on the clock. Hallandale trying to answer. Now Cooper, one of the Chargers back deep. He won't get a shot at it. And having to more or less fall on this one. One of the up men for the Chargers. A little pooch kick. Number 24, Jerome Lindo. And we've got a timeout on the field. 2:52 on the clock, 7-0 to score. Boynton Beach Tigers strike first. So we do have a penalty on the Tigers.
Looks like they're going to get probably a legal procedure called on the Tigers. You're watching High School Game Day on HSPN South Florida. We've got the Hallandale Beach Chargers versus the Boynton Beach Tigers in this 6A 15 district title game brought to you by Bleacher.com. They are going to kick off again.
So they'll get another shot at it. And you've got Cooper and the Shaka back deep for Hallandale. Set the return. We'll see if they get an opportunity or if Tigers will go with the same strategy and go with a little pooch kick to prevent.
May work out. Late in the first quarter, Tigers strike on that option zone read. Lamar Jackson took 2 of those similar plays against Coconut Creek. Actually 3, and 1 was called back last week.
He has such a quick step, and if he gets into the secondary, you better wrap him up because he's going to be hard to tackle and bring down. I'm sure the Chargers are well aware of that. As I said, they've made mention of the fact they need to stop him. Eventually, we'll get this one kicked off. Tigers trying to figure out what they want to do. Break.
I can already
The
see
huddle.
some of the muck coming up from the field over there. I know that it didn't rain. Well, it did rain for about 15-20 minutes. It wasn't real hard, but it's hard enough. Bring that muck up.
And they go with a semi-long kick. And they'll be able to come up. Will the Chargers and take it? And trying to go to the far side on the return. Nishaka on the carry on the return. And he gets just across the 30. And we'll say that's where Hallandale will take over 1st and 10. Trying to knock this one up at 7. District 6A 15 action here from Hallandale Beach, Florida, as the Chargers are taking on the Tigers here from Charger Stadium. A shotgun formation for the Chargers. They come with a little receiver reverse and sheds a defender still on his feet in the near side and popped out of bounds finally is Cooper.
Looking for a gain of about 17 yards.
We'll give them about 17, 18 on the reverse, and that'll move the sticks. 1st and 10 coming up for the Chargers. Almost at midfield we are. We'll call it around the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Chargers. Trying to tie this one up at 7. Waning minutes of the first quarter. 7-0 to score. Tigers up. The visitors with 2:34 on the clock. Pistol. Once again, Cooper in motion. They go with the little run, weaving through the defense and picking up about 8 more. On the carry is McGowan.
Number
So
12,
2nd and short coming up.
Stop Quentin Wilcher again.
Second and short coming up. Now into Tiger territory. Two high-scoring teams, no score thus far. They keep it on the ground once again, and that pile is moving forward, but only minimally. Might have gotten maybe a yard. So 3rd and about 3, we'll call it.
It's like 55 for the Tigers getting off the bottom. That's Jacoby
We'd
Wilson.
like to thank the Miami Dolphins football team for donating a portable cryo tub which helps the athletes cool down after they play their games. Thank you, and treat. Thank you, Miami Dolphins.
3rd down and 2, we'll call it. Inside of Tiger territory, Chargers trying to tie this one up at 7. And in motion, and we might have a false start. And that's going to move it back 5 for the Chargers. So instead of a 3rd and short, we got about a 3rd and 7 coming up. Coming up on the 1-minute mark here in this one. 7-0 to score. Boynton Beach Tigers strike first on about a 51-yard jaunt from guess who? Mr. Jackson. Lamar Jackson taking it in. Chargers trying to knock this one up. Huntley in the shotgun. Looks. Fires this one across the middle and complete. Weaving through the defense. I think he's going to take it the distance. No flags. Touchdown Chargers.
That's Cooper. Cooper takes it to the house. 53-yard touchdown reception. It's almost tied up. 17 seconds left in the first quarter. Got me going, woke me up. Oh my, you see some speed here. They just had to feel each other out a little bit, and I knew they'd go back to the hash.
Oh yeah, they've gotten it going at this point. We got a ball game, extra point ensuing, snaps back, ball's up, kick is through, and good. So 17 ticks remaining here in the first. 7 tight is what we've got for you.
High school football primetime powered by HSPN, Hallandale Chargers versus the Boynton Beach Tigers, Hallandale High School in Hallandale, Florida.
Excuse me. I found this.
Here, put the knee, I'll let you open it up.
7-7 ball game, tied up.
All right, open it up.
Threw it to Cooper right on the hash.
I'm here. Open it up. I'll announce it. Is there a name?
And he took it the distance.
Is there a
53 yards.
There's a lot of money in there.
We got ourselves a ball game.
Celso Lopez
Give me the ID.
with the kicking duties. Made the all-important extra point. We've got a 7-7 game.
Delio Nunez is working the press box. Thank you.
Gotta love it. Getting to playoff time. We're going to have a special guest up here at halftime. I'm not even going to tell you who it is.
And this one's high and deep and through the back of the end zone. Malik Perret, one of the returners back deep.
We still got 15 seconds, enough for one play. Then they will switch it to the other end of the
I got
field.
you loud and clear now.
Can Deleo Nunez please report to the press box? Deleo Nunez.
So 7-7 contest. Tigers will start out first and 10 from their own 20.
Tigers start off first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
3 wide receiver set in motion. Calavan and a fumble picked up Calavan trying to get what he could, and that'll back them up 5 more yards on the loss. So they're back up around their own 14-15. The second down and long coming up. Turnovers will definitely be key, as in any contest, as you're going to get a good look at Richie Cooper.
Second and 15 for the Tigers.
The second and 15 situation for the Tigers in their own territory is spread formation. Jackson tries to float this one up in the middle.
my
and
goodness.
incomplete, almost picked off, in and out of the hands.
Number 7 had it in his hands, Jalen Falk. It was easy. Would have been easy to pick it up, turn it around. And I'll tell you, when I watched Jackson throw the ball, he really didn't put much on it.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to put some touch on it just as far here in this one, but it could become a factor as we get further into this one. A third and long situation. Jackson going long into your screen and complete, and still on his feet, and finally thrown down after a big time catch. Dante Salensu.
You know it was. Oh my goodness. Looking around, I don't see any penalty flags. 60-yard pass completion to Salensu. He had a step.
And a correction on that, Glenn. I guess it's pronounced Silencio.
Silencio.
Dante Silencio on the big time catch for the Tigers.
Silence the crowd.
And I didn't see a flag, but apparently we do.
Defensive
We got a
holding.
holding against the Chargers. The penalty was declined, of course, and that'll give the Tigers a big time reception. And more to come. That was, believe it or not, the last play of the first quarter, folks. So 3 more quarters to come. As 1 quarter is in the books, 7-7 contest for you. Here from Charger Stadium, Chris Jenkins and Glenn Stout bringing the action here on HSPN. And this is high school football prime time here on Friday night. And happy Halloween to all you folks out there, all you trick-or-treaters and whatnot. Be safe, get lots of candy, lots of cavities, that kind of thing. So we'll start the second quarter of play. Knotted up at 7. This is the District 6A 15.
No, 5A 16, 5A 15.
This is the conference championship.
15, 5A.
Oh, a first down play to start off the second quarter. Tigers keep it on the ground. Underway second quarter play, 11:46 on the clock, and the Tigers on the move inside of Charger territory. Just short of the 20-yard line. We've got a second down. Medium coming up. Jackson floating this one up. Corner of the end zone incomplete. Pass intended for Jordan Calvan. And that will bring up a third and about 6, we'll call it, for the Tigers.
Overthrew that one about 2 yards. He had a step on the defender. Need to put just a little bit more air on it.
Jackson in the shotgun with a 4 wide receiver set and almost completes this one in and out of the hands. Batted it around for a few minutes before he finally dropped it.
It's number 15, almost a one-handed catch by Aristide.
So a 4th down situation for the Tigers, deciding if they're going to go for it. They've got about a 4th down and about 6 coming up inside of Charger territory, trying to break this 7-7 tie. Jackson and the Tigers will go for it. 4 wide receiver set.
11:21 in the second quarter.
And they go with the screen pass, Glenn, and he's got some room over the near side, wrapped up, broke a tackle, and finally tackled, ball floats out of bounds. So that could have been a catastrophe. And coming back with the Silencio was the receiver.
Taylor had him in his grasp, and he just let him go, but he slowed him down enough for the pursuit to come over and get him. They held him on 4th down.
Another 4th down. Another 4th down attempt by the Tigers could not convert. Actually, a 4th down attempt for both sides at this point. First 4th down attempt for the Tigers, excuse me. And the Chargers were able to avoid. They'll take over 1st and 10, but deep in their own territory as they avoid allowing the Tigers to convert. So Huntley in the pistol. And go with a fake run. He decides to keep it. Huntley to the near side and tiptoeing the sideline. Nice run by one of our impact players. That'll move the sticks big time. A gain of about 23. Nice run.
Nice tightrope. He ran that zone read option. He kept it. Smart move. And just took it right down the lane.
Tyler Huntley, one of our impact players, a 6 foot, 170-pound junior, making it happen there. That moves the sticks, keeps the Chargers drive alive. Once again, they go with the run play.
It's like McGowan, that time, Chris picks up about 6 yards, 2nd and 4.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise.
We still got a 7-7 ball game. Chargers got a little momentum at this point. About 10:40 here left in the second. Wherever you may be watching or listening, we thank you for tuning in. Got a good one in Class 5A. I was corrected. Class 5A action. District championship. They keep it on the ground once again. Once again, McGowan on the jog. Gains about 9 or so on the carry. That'll move the sticks, keep the drive alive. Right around it, midfield, just over midfield, now into Tiger territory.
Nice drive by the Chargers. Spreading the ball out.
This is for all the marbles here in conference. 4-0, both of these squads coming into this one. They keep it on the ground once again, chewing up the clock, and nice yards on that run. McGowan on the carry once again, but it is a holding penalty that'll bring it back.
Oh my.
So the 10-yard penalty will kill the momentum, Glenn. I'm going to bring up 1st and 20 now. Ball all the way just back across the 40-yard line of the Chargers. Huntley in the pistol, has plenty of time, going deep, and it's going to be covered well. Incomplete pass intended that time for Mr. Joshua Hammond.
Defensive making a great play, Hendrickson Mosher. And that is the young quarterback who is a sophomore with 4 interceptions for the Tigers this season.
So 2nd and 20 coming up for the Chargers. Ball spotted just across the 40. Call it the 41.
9:18 on the clock with the second quarter.
Pistol set once again. They keep it on the ground. Initially tackled and still breaking tackles, moving forward. Nice run for McGowan. Gets about 7 on the 10 yards they lost back. But we're still looking at about a 3rd down and about 16, we'll call it. Good stuff coming to you tonight from Hallandale Beach, Florida. Chris Jenkins, Glenn Stout breaking it down for you here on HSPN. 3rd and long situation for the Chargers. Near side incomplete.
Wow, great play again by Brosher, the sophomore. This young man is going to go places.
Good coverage. That'll force a punt for the Chargers. Had a little momentum. Got stalled by the holding penalty, it looked like, and they're going to have to give it back. And back deep, you've got Dante Silencio prepared for the return. So no score, 7-7 is what we're looking at here in the second quarter. 8:27, high snap, gets this one off. It's going to take a bit of a Tiger bounce, actually. Decent field position for them. Headed the other direction. We'll call it 1st and 10 around the 23.
Folks, you're watching high school football primetime Friday night, powered by HSPN South Florida. Got the Hallandale Chargers and the Boynton Beach Tigers playing for the district championship.
Jackson in the pistol with 2 wides to the far end near at his own 23. With a little run and stutter step and big time play defensively by the Chargers. Number 7, Falk stepping up, or that might have gone the distance. It was that close. And Chauncey Mason on the carry for the Tigers. On 2nd down and you go with the 4 wide receiver set once again, and Mason on the carry once more, and gets close to 1st down yardage and a gain of about 4. It's going to bring up a 2nd and short, or 2nd and inches, we'll call it, coming up.
No shootout tonight.
Thus far, no shootout.
No shootout.
But I think they're going to get loose. I just see it. I feel it coming. I feel it coming.
Well, they gave him the 1st down. He had enough to move in the chains.
So 1st down and 10, just short of the 30-yard line of the Tigers as they get the call from the sidelines. Man in motion. Jackson trying to find some room over the far side. Popped out of bounds. Maybe a minimal gain, 2 or 3 we'll give him. So 2nd and 7 coming up. 7-7 game for you here from Charger Stadium here in Hallandale Beach, Florida. 6:57 on the clock. 2 high-power teams in Class 5A going at it for the district championship here tonight. Pistol set once again for Jackson. They go with a little screen pass and completes it, shakes a defender, and then a host of Chargers come in to close him out. But nice catch by Mason.
What great footing. He just backpedaled, kicking the dirt up, and maintained his balance.
Able to gain, we'll call him 4 or 5 maybe on the play, but that'll still bring up a third down and about 6, we'll call it. Just short of the 40. Tigers at their own 39. Pistol set once again with the 4 wide receiver set. And rolling out to the far side and off the fingertips. A little too much mustard on that one. Intended for Jordan Calvan. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, water break. They take a break. We'll too take a break. You're watching high school football prime time on HSPN, South Florida. Stay with us. Well, we're back at you. 3rd down.
Well, fourth down
down,
situation, actually, yeah, for the Tigers have to give it up. Bobbled the snap and finally gets this one up. Low floater. Takes a Tiger bounce. Is going to die inside the 15-yard line. So Chargers will get it back, but not good field position as they try and break this 7-7 tie.
There is some big wind coming out of the west. Carried that ball quite a ways.
Jordan Calvan on the punt for Boynton Beach. And they'll spot it right around the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 coming up for Hallandale. Still 7-7, folks. 6:04 on the clock here in the 2nd quarter. Conference championship playoffs. Positioning on the line here in this one. Minimal gain, about 3 on the carry. And we do look like we have an injured Charger on the field.
Yeah, there's an injury on the field, and we'll take a little bit of a break while you watch him. Hopefully he gets on his own power. While we're taking a break, we're going to give shout out to all those guys that are making it. Guy that does all the graphics and send us a roster tonight. Features.com. We've got FloridaGridironPreps.com. That is Bobby Jackson. We've got Florida High School Football, Florida HSPN.com. And finally, FloridaVarsity.com. Well, it's because we have no upload speed here. Literally like being in a bomb shelter with very little upload speed. And I don't know if it's the module or what it is, so we had to tone everything down. We've got HD cameras that are running this, but we've got to tone it down to 360, and if you got it on a small screen, you're not going to have any problem at all. You want to watch it on a big screen?
Sebastian Santerling,
different story,
was the injured Charger. Come off the field after on his own power. Just a freshman, and he is a load, 320 pound to be exact.
I got to watch out. This candy will pull out these 50-year-old.
So a 4 wide receiver set for the Chargers, and weaving through the defense close to first down territory, first down yardage. I think that was Joshua Hammond on the carry for the Chargers. They're going to call it 2nd and short. Got a defensive struggle here in this one. Approaching the 5-minute mark, second quarter play. 7-7 is your score from Charger Stadium. Chris Jenkins, Glenn Stout bringing the action here in 5A. District Championship on the line. Hallandale Beach and Boynton Beach going at it. And they do have enough for the first down yardage on the carry that time. And Gowan gained about 8.
Big number 54 on the tackle. Malik Wilson.
The ball spotted just across the 40. And call it the 42 of the Chargers. Pistol set. 1 wide to the near, 4 to the wide. They go with the little bubble screen and got some room and finally wrapped up.
Very close to the first down. You can see it's maybe about a yard right down here in front of us.
Still going to bring up 2nd and short on the completion. I believe
about a yard.
Bringing that one in, Nero Nashaka. So 2nd and 1 for the Chargers. See if they can maintain some momentum. Last drive killed primarily a couple of penalties, holding one of them. Hallandale in the gray and maroon, and big time defensive play stepping up that time for the Tigers. Host of Tigers in on that one.
That was number 54 again, Malik Wilson.
Wilson in there leading the charge, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down, and we'll call it about 2 now, because he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage if we're being generous. Coming up on the 3-minute mark here in this one. Still tied at 7. Huntley goes under center now. 1 back set, pushes the pile forward. He's going to have enough to move the sticks. And that'll be 1st and 10 coming up. And Hallandale will keep it moving.
2:58 on the clock left in the second quarter. You know the Chargers want to get one in before they head in. Get the momentum quick. They're doing a sustained drive, run the clock down.
Class 5A District Championship on the line. Here on Halloween, they go with the little read option. Huntley's having a scramble to the far side and picks up what he can and still got positive yards, maybe 3 on the scramble.
Wow, what athletic ability Huntley has. Get away from
and
all of those
that was a
defenders.
read option intended to go toward the near side of the field, and he just decided after he got pressure to just take it the other way and get what he could.
2:31 in the second quarter.
Still about a 2nd and 8, we'll call it, coming up for the Chargers. Man in motion. Huntley deciding to go long. He's got a man and caught.
35-yard reception.
Joshua Hammond pulling that one in. Defensive coverage was coming toward Hammond and went up and got it and pulled it down. Big time momentum continuing for the Chargers. Now they're knocking on the door. Just short of the 10 now. Fresh set of downs. 1st down from the 11. Coming up on the 2-minute mark here in this one. Chargers trying to break this 7-7 tie. Offset I formation. First time they do go with that one tonight. And on the carry that Tom McGowan.
Get you down inside the 2-3 yard line, Chris. Clock is running. 147.
And they actually have an opportunity to pick up a first down, believe it or not. So a 2nd down and goal now. That first down marker at the 1. So 3-back set. They go with the run. Taking his time and getting it in. Yes, he does. Touchdown Chargers. McGowan on the carry.
And score! For Hallandale Chargers, 13.
And the Chargers take the lead on a 2-yard plunge from McGowan. Extra point coming up. Lopez with the attempt. And they're going to call encroachment against the Tigers. Who's going to move it half the distance to the goal, and they'll try again.
There he is, Tosh McGowan, our impact player. Nice game, number 2 running back.
And the snap is back. Kick is up and barely squeaks through that left upright, Glenn. Points out of rarity right now, so made it work. As you take a look at the scoreboard, 14-7 now. Home team, Chargers finally take the lead with 1:15 remaining here in the second.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that there are no more Popeyes boxes available. Okay. Hello.
Good-looking young man. Going to make somebody at the next level very happy.
1:15 on the clock. Can the Tigers answer? Of course, stay tuned. Your halftime performance is brought to you by Hallandale High School and Boynton Beach High School. Of course, this is senior night here on Halloween. Happy Halloween to all you folks out there watching. And the kick is off and deep. And trying to find somewhere to go with all the Tigers. You're going to get decent field position. Just across the 20, we'll call it about the 24. And that's where they'll start, 1st and 10, with only one-on-one on the clock. We'll see if they can punch one in.
Don't rate this.
One minute. Only takes Lamar Jackson about 6 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Plenty of time for Jackson to operate.
It's the time they want that defense to step it up. Chargers only allowing 10 points a game.
4 wide receiver set. And they go up the middle and picked off. And we're going back the other way. Chargers come up with a big-time interception. Bringing that one in. Chris Cotto. So that kills the momentum for the Tigers. Jackson trying to go up the middle. Pass tip. And Cotto comes up with the pick. And now the Chargers with an opportunity to punch another one in. 49 seconds remaining here in the second, and they just took the lead on a 2-yard run from McCowan. Up 14-7 and trying to put in another one before the half.
Not sure Boynton Beach Tigers has seen a defense of this caliber all season.
So Huntley, empty backfield, 3-step drop, fires one across the middle and complete, and still dragging defenders, my Lord. Touchdown Chargers. refused to be brought down that time.
Touchdown, Josh Hammond for the Chargers. That makes it score.
Josh Hammond bringing that one in. And showed some major strength, had 2 Tigers draped on him and refused to go down.
Salsa Lopez is on for the extra point.
So Chargers going in with all the momentum, forcing a turnover and one play, and they take it the distance, almost encroachment by the Tigers. They get back, but the snap is up, kick is through and good. The Chargers in business now, up 21-7. And believe it or not, we still got 37 seconds remaining in the quarter.
That's a happy young man he should be. He's playing color football tonight. Folks, you're watching high school football primetime, powered by HSPN South Florida. You're watching the mighty Chargers playing the Bengal Tigers, and the Chargers are up by 14 with a few seconds left in the second quarter. And it was about 2 minutes ago when I turned to you, Chris, I said, you think they can get it in to get it going at halftime to get that momentum going? Well, they not only got it in once, but they put it in twice within about 20-25 seconds.
Absolutely. 2 scores in less than a minute of elapsed time. And the Tigers are going to get it back one more time. They're going to try and bring it out of the end zone, but it is waved off as a touchback.
Wow.
Tigers will start off 1st and 10 from their own 20, but not a lot of time. But Jackson doesn't really need it. Only 37 seconds remaining here in this one. All the momentum on the Chargers side, defending their home turf and trying to come up with their 10th win on the season to stay undefeated. Jackson in the pistol. Now flushed out of the pocket. Far side, gets this one off, and not enough on that one. Falls incomplete, the intended receiver. Pass intended for Chauncey Mason.
29 seconds, second half.
Oh, 2nd down and 10 from the 24, Jackson. Empty backfield, a 5 wide receiver set, spread formation for the Tigers.
Chargers in cover 3.
And decides to keep it up the middle. He's got some room, takes his time, picks up a 1st down, but the clock is ticking. Gets it up across the 40, and we've got a timeout, I believe. No, hurry up offense for the Tigers.
Just moving the chains.
Clock stopped with 21 seconds remaining, and Jackson chewed up about 20 yards in less than 5 seconds. Once again, empty backfield, 5 receiver set, 3-step drop, gets him some across the middle, completes it. Mason breaks a tackle, still on his feet, brought down at the 40 of the Chargers now.
6 seconds remaining.
But only 6 seconds remaining. Can the Tigers make something happen?
Timeout, Boynton.
And Boynton wants to talk about it and regroup. They take a timeout with 6 seconds remaining. 2 undefeated teams going at it, Glenn, here from Charger Stadium.
Wow.
In Class 5A.
Exciting football down here in Hallandale Beach, Florida. It doesn't get much better than this. You know, last week we came down from Coconut Creek, watched the high flyer. Jackson, Lamar is all over the field, 63 points. They come down and they play a legitimate defense, only allowing 10 points a game. Coach Damian Jones has these guys prepared. They are hungry for the playoffs. They've been stopped several years in a row. They feel like they're ready.
And they're looking the part. A lot of momentum here in this one. Trying to go into the half, up 14, 21-7. Last play of the quarter. Jackson still alive. Had some pressure. Cocks one back. Floats one into the end zone. Incomplete.
Out of the end on the clock. The Chargers can take it in at halftime with a score and a lead of 21-7.
Good stuff. That's all I can say.
Staying under their minimum.
Absolutely.
Of 10 points.
Are you ready?
Wow.
Of course,
What a
as
game.
I said, tonight's halftime performances are brought to you by Hallandale High School and Boynton Beach High School. You're watching South Florida High School football on HSPN. This district showdown is brought to you tonight by Bleacher.com, of course, powered by HSPN Sports.com.
All right. First,
Well, I didn't tell you who I was going to surprise you with at halftime, and because I know you're a very busy man down and around the halftime. We got a chance to talk early on. I've got the legendary Larry Bluestein, looking healthy, Larry, and it's so glad to have you up here in the box with us. What do you think of this game so far?
Oh, it's kind of a surprise, you know. I mean, I thought, you know, that it would be a high-scoring game. Hallandale living up to their part of the bargain, but this is far from over, obviously. I mean, when you have Lamar out there, you know, having a time to throw the ball, it's a different game. So it's far from over, but it's for Hallandale look good so far.
We talked about this game being up in the 30s, you know, maybe the low 40s.
Yeah.
But, you know, they come in here and Hallandale has held every team to under 10 points. And they've shown in the first half they're staying within those numbers.
Well, yeah, you make a good point. I just think that Hallandale right now, I mean, you know, this is a different type of team than Hallandale's faced all year. And this is a team a lot like Coconut Creek that could score at will. But if you remember the Coconut Creek game, it was wet and the conditions were different. But Hallandale certainly has come to play. They have the weapons, and we talked about that. They'll stay with anybody offensively. It's just defensively that they're going to get tested tonight. And like I said, we still have another half to play to see what goes on.
Well, we're coming down to the end of the season. I know you work your tail off all year. You were pushing student athletes by the hundreds. I know they appreciate it. I know we appreciate it because we retweet them. But we're getting into the end of the season now where everybody is starting to get a playoff picture, starting to get a look at that road to Orlando. Give us some thoughts about that playoff picture.
Well, you know, especially down south, I mean, you look at 8A, and it's going to be kind of a crapshoot. You have Flanagan, you have Monarch, you have Miramar and Broward County, you know, and Miramar has kind of struggled a little bit, but their defense is real good. And then Dade County, Killian has a legitimate shot. Certainly, Columbus is a team that's in the mix. 7A, I think this is kind of St. Thomas. You know, after St. Thomas hiccuped a little bit, lost to Don Bosco, and played tough against Miramar, I think that they're finding their oats now. I think I mean, if you tallied up what they've done in their district, they've outscored their district opponents 340-14.
Wow.
So they're kind of finding themselves, and I think that maybe Tarpon Springs East Lake may be a team that they watch for the down the line, or even Dwyer or somebody out of there. And then 6A is really going to be tough. You have these two teams here, it's Miami Central, and then the district down with Miami Central, Carroll City, Northwestern, and Norland are all pretty good football teams. And then Daytona Beach Mainland, who may be the best team in the state at 6A, and then Central may have to go up there this year, and it's going to be pretty tough. You look at 5A, I think that American Heritage Plantation has a very good chance to go back again. They've kind of run the gauntlet. If there's the toughest team with a schedule, it's them. They played everybody. I mean, you know, Bowles, Mainland, Apopka, they play 4A, but you still have Cocoa in the south, and Clewiston, who's number 2. And then 3A, Delray Heritage is really shown. They beat Plantation last week. They're a very solid football team. You have Clearwater Central Catholic, who's a very solid football team. And then in 2A, it's going to be pretty interesting. You got Champagnat Catholic, who's the defending state champions, but you also have Indian Rocks Christian out of Largo, who's number 1 and who has probably the best scoring margin in the state. They've averaged 40 points better. And then, 1A is usually a north thing. Cross City, Dixie County looks very strong. Last year, Trenton played a great game, and most likely it'll be Northview again and our friend Ty Wise. So, and then upstate, in all those classifications, you still have Lakeland and First Coast. You have Sefner Armwood is still playing well. Lincoln's still in the mix. Lakeland again. So, all the familiar faces. But down south, last year they had 7 teams that won state titles. It's going to be hard to do that again.
And this roadway through 6A, through Dade County, it's got to be one of the toughest roadways for any of the Palm Beach, Broward County teams to get through.
By far. Glenn, I'll tell you, when you take a look at the teams, just in that district alone, even Homestead, you have probably the most prospect-rich district in the state, maybe the nation.
Right.
Because you have Central and Norland, who are stacked with kids. Then you add in Northwestern, who's coming back. And then you have Carroll City, and I think Aubrey Hill's done a great job with Carroll City.
Yes.
They kind of had a tough go early on in the year, but their offense is real good, and they showed last night by beating New Orleans 6-0. Forcing a 3-way tie. The team that you can never count out of anything, is Dwyer. Even though they're in this 3-team race now, they're in with Atlantic and Royal Palm. Somehow Jack Daniels always gets there at the end of the season.
Well, I don't want to get political, but the FHSA is making decisions right now that'll last for 4 years.
Right.
Some of these districts with 3 teams, actually, that's here. What are your thoughts on that? Got to stop.
They got to stop. I mean, you look at Westminster and Chaminade are 2 teams in a district themselves, and that's not right. And then the 3-team district that you alluded to, you have Plantation, American Heritage, Cardinal Gibbons, and Miami Jackson. These teams, now this year, some of them were cut down because a lot of these teams went independent. I think they need to know right away, before they start reclassifying which teams are going to bail out and go independent again for next year, and then make their decision. But every program or every team should have, or division should have at least 5 or 6 teams in every district.
I agree.
It's just the way it should be, because it just dilutes it. And it reminds me of wrestling too, because sometimes in the districts and the regions, like in a district where there's not a lot of teams, a lot of kids will advance to region without ever having to wrestle anybody. So things like that, Glenn, they have to change sooner or later, and I think football could set precedents next year. And it's good, like you said, it's going to be for 4 years. So whatever happens this time around, because you look from year to year, things change. The landscape of football, especially in South Florida, where there was 219 kids who changed schools from December until the first of the year, and when that happens, it just changes right away. And certainly, the powers stay traditional powers of St. Thomas's and schools like that, but the guys that are in the middle of the road are finding themselves, like Boynton Beach a few years ago was on the bottom of the pack. And Coach Swain has done an awesome job. He's got a lot of the kids to stay around the area instead of going to other schools, because they border a lot of other schools, and they've done a great job. But teams like that, for Hallandale, this is a program not steeped, in history. I mean, this would be the first undefeated season in school history if they finish the regular season. They've had good football teams in the past, but this has always been a basketball-oriented school. So, this is a program that they brought out a great crowd. I see, because I've been associated with this area for so long, I see a lot of these kids that played in Hallandale in the 70s and the 80s, and they're here, and I call them the front-running fans. They only come back when they're doing good. But there are a lot of front-running fans here tonight. I see them, and some of them have kids on the team, like Corey Johnson's dad played here, which is really good. The Sutherland family, it has a lot of history, and it's great to see an athlete like Lamar Jackson too, because everybody in the state has heard about him. They watched him last week when you guys did that great telecast last week, what he did, and he's just phenomenal. And like I said, it's 21-7, but he can make that game 21-21 in no time.
In about 6 seconds, I told him, he did three 365-yarders last week. One was called back, and it was about 18 total seconds. Now, we saw you last night.
Yeah.
And you threw independent out there.
Yes.
It's growing. But we
Yes.
saw you last night, and I wish I was too busy with the switchers and everything else to get you up there. That was Westminster Academy and little old Coral Springs Charter Panthers, a school that I was able 15 years ago. We started a little football program there. Threw us in too big of a district. But give me your thoughts on they're going to 15th. They're going to FAU. I hope we can get them again.
I'll be there.
And it's Calvary. It's a rematch that they lost in the last play. Your thoughts about that independent matchup, championship game, Southeastern Football Conference?
I love it. I can't tell you enough that the programs like the Coral Glades and the Archbishop McCarthy's, who don't have to knock heads with the St. Thomas's and the Heritages and those programs who have a little bit more vested in the football end of things, they could actually stay relevant. Like Coral Springs Charter last night. I mean, their fans, you saw, they went crazy. And same thing, Westminster came in that undefeated. And the thing is that and a couple of people went to another public school game last night that was for a playoff implication. And I said there were more Division I top players in the game we were at last night, Coral Springs Charter and Westminster, than there are in other games. So they still have the talent. I try to get to these games just to, because I know that Jerry Hughes, who was down at Key West for a lot of years, he called me when Key West went independent. He was upset about it because he said the kids are not going to get the exposure. But I said, listen, Jerry, as long as I'm alive, I will make sure that anybody's playing football will get exposure. And that's one of the reasons why I opted to go last night, because I thought it was important, because when we come out with that, you'll see all the prospect reports. The kid Leslie Dalger from Westminster Christian, a 6'5", 220-pound wide receiver. This is a kid that can play in the NFL one day, and everyone's going to, where'd he come from? Like Carrie Williams at Chaminade. People ask those questions about, guys like that. But I can tell you, that's why I go to the games. You uncover kids like that, you give them the exposure. That's why I tweet out all these kids and put their film with it, so colleges have an option. And they don't get, I'll make sure they won't get lost like yourself. You were there doing that game last night, streaming it around the world, so everybody got a chance to see smaller Florida football, but good Florida football.
That's correct. And by the way, 70 countries watch us, Larry. Malaysia.
Can I speak Malaysian right now?
I'm talking about Korea. I mean, they're covering, and every state in the union. We blasted to 600 coaches. We got a lot of coaches that you do. We love to see you because you've been supportive. And when we were talking downstairs, folks, Larry's been doing this since he's 14, 15 years old. So if you're not used to seeing him here, especially if you're from around the country, Larry is a legend. He's doing it for the kids. And if they want to read any of your articles, where could they catch them online?
Well, we have SouthFloridaHighSchoolSports.com, which we have videos, we have blogs. We have the Miami Herald, and you go to the high school sports page, and I have blogs on there. And also what we do is we have you can come on, follow me on Twitter. It's Larry Bluestein, BLUSTEIN, and just follow me on Twitter. And what I'll do is and for you college coaches watching tonight, please take advantage of it, because I send out, like Glenn was saying, 100, 150 kids in all classes every week with their video. So you don't have to go searching for their video. You have it. If you're interested in the kid, contact his school. But that's why I do it. And the coaches love it. Every high school coach in the state of Florida, from Charlie Ward, who's up at Pensacola, Washington, all the way to everybody who follows high school football. They send me, Brandon sends me tons of stuff. So we have almost 4,500 kids listed now from classes 2019 all the way to 2015. So go on that, and it's the MiamiHerald.com, and follow me on Twitter, because it's very important. And we have Facebook and all, but do that, and you'll see what we do to help promote the kids.
And I want you to know that when you see kids on our site, our Twitter, that's from Larry Bluestein. And Larry has been gracious enough. I asked, said, is it okay?
Anytime.
We promote kids. We're all about the kids. Larry, it's great to have you up here. We're getting ready to start the second half. I hope to see you next week. We're going to be up there at Monarch, and then the following week we're going to be in there for the championship. You are more than welcome to come in the booth and take my job any day of the week.
I don't want your job. You work too hard. Thanks,
Larry Bluestein, here for us. Thank you very much, Larry. Right back to live action so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Chris, it was fantastic halftime interview with Larry Bluestein, a good friend of mine and a man that is all about the kids. We are going to get back into this action. Folks, it is 6A15 football.
Yes,
we knew that.
we
We're right
finally
next to a
got
coach.
confirmation. Yeah.
And second
I
of
went
all,
back and forth on it, but we were able to confirm it is 6A.
we know, we did our homework. And second of all, we thank you for your input. Just realize that we don't have but about 4 people, and when we get some more student interns, we can look at these Twitter faster. We will say the score more for you and try to keep whoever hair is out of it.
And we got flags to start off the second half as the Tigers go. If that was an onside, it was the highest floating onside you'll see. And we do have an unsportsmanlike that's going to be tacked onto the end of this catch for the Chargers. So they're going to be in business already, starting in Tiger territory, up by 14 to start off the second half. So 21-7 is the count. About a 20-yard kick high, but recovered by the Chargers. And unsportsmanlike, but there is a flag on the field, so this one will bring it back.
We're getting to Candyman again, and we can see that we're having some interruption. We are working on the feed. It is good signal again, and we should be back in business. I'm telling you, down here in Hallandale at Hallandale Beach High School, you're lucky to get 2 megabytes up, and we got to have way more than that to stream what we're streaming.
Meanwhile, we do have an injured Charger on the field, right around midfield, and coming back to action. Although there is a timeout on the field, we will have an unsportsmanlike marked off against the Chargers. $21-7 is your score. Live from Hallandale Beach, Florida. This is Chris Jenkins and Glenn Stout bringing the action here on HSPN, brought to you by Bleacher.com. And that injured player being brought off the field right now, number 6, Richie Cooper. So after marking off the unsportsmanlike, it will be a 1st and 25. That pass batted down by Huntley. 21-7 to count, 11:42 on the clock. Chargers able to put 2 touchdowns on the scoreboard. About less than a minute and a half, with some serious momentum going into the break. Sideline warning being given to the Chargers. Ball spotted at the Charger 42. Second down and 25 coming up. Jackson able to make a few plays in the first half. He's responsible for their only touchdown. Huntley in the shotgun, trying to find somewhere to go, being flushed out of the pocket to the near side, keeping the play alive, and going to be brought down. Nice, big-time play by the Tigers.
That's number 32 making a big hit. And he's not an impact player, and we lost the roster.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and about 2 miles for the Chargers coming up. Ball spotted back all the way across their own 35 on the loss. Huntley trying to make something happen.
That was Cody Banks, number 32. Thank you. We've got the roster back up.
Cody Banks stepping up big, making a huge play for the sack. So a 3rd, and as I said, forever for the Chargers. 7-step drop. Huntley completes the pass, but it will not be enough to move the sticks.
What a beautiful throwing motion Huntley has.
Nice tight spiral on his pass. That one complete that time to Edward King.
Yeah, Coach,
6'1".
Coach Jones isn't very happy about that.
Silencio back deep for the Tigers as they will get their first possession of the second half. 21-7 is your score. 10:05 here in the third quarter of play. Chargers able to gain all the momentum, scoring 2 touchdowns in less than a minute and a half going into the break, and this one's a dud. Nets about 25-30 yards. Flies up in the air. Tigers will get great field position to start off. And we'll call it the 35 first and 10 coming up for the Tigers. 6A 15 district action. I promise you, you got it right. 2 undefeated teams in the district, 4-0. 10-0, 8-0 overall in the regular season. And it's coming down to this one. Jackson, first possession, gets this one up and completes it for about 7 yards. Bring up a second and short. We're going to call it a Ristale on the reception. So 2nd and 3 coming up for Jackson. 2 wides to the far, 2 to the near. Man in motion. They go with a fake reverse, and Jackson keeps it up the middle. He might have enough for the first down. We'll give him 4, and that will be enough to move it forward and keep the drive alive.
A tackle was made by number 57, Jarvis Hall.
Jackson in the pistol. 1 back set. Man in motion, go with the reverse, and they keep it up the middle, and they'll get maybe 5. So, 2nd and about 4 coming up. 21-7 is the score. Here from Charger Stadium here in Hallandale Beach, Florida. Chris Jenkins, Glenn Stout here on HSPN.
And I can feel the temperature dropping.
Nice and cool. I'm loving it. This is the best time to live in South Florida, in my opinion, right around now. So 2nd and 5 coming up for the Tigers. Around midfield. Jackson keeps it and gets what he can. And a host of Chargers in on the stop. He might have gotten 1, so bring up a 3rd and about 3 coming up. Coming up on the 8-minute mark, still 21-7 Chargers. Defending their home turf. A spread formation once again. Jackson breaks a tackle up the middle. Still on his feet. And gets enough for the first down. We'll give him about 8 on the carry. That'll move the sticks forward and keep the Tigers' momentum going. So, empty backfield for Jackson. Fresh set of downs. Spread formation. Decides to take it on the quarterback keeper. And gains about 8 more on the carry. So bring up a 2nd and short. Turning into the Jackson show here in this one. As we said prior to kickoff, as we were given stats on this ball game, Jackson coming in with close to 850 yards running. And he is showing his stuff on this series. 2nd and short. In the shotgun now. And tries to complete this when this was low. And it is incomplete. So a 3rd and 3 coming up. Pass intended for Chauncey Mason. So 3rd and 3 situation coming up for Jackson. One back in the backfield. Mason in motion. They keep it up the middle, and I think they're going to have enough. Gain of about 4 on the play. That'll move the sticks, keep the drive alive. Tigers trying to seize the momentum and cut into this 14-point Charger lead. 21-7 is your score. 6:37 on the clock. Officials timeout. I think we're going to have a measurement coming up. Too close to tell, I guess.
You're watching high school football primetime, powered by district title game. Coming to you live from Hallandale, Florida.
And that will be enough to move the sticks. And we've got a 1st and 10 for Boynton Beach. Inside of Charger territory now. Ball spotted at the 30 for Jackson. One back set, pistol formation, man in motion. And a fumble on the play. It looks like a trip. I guess he tripped a little bit. He kept his momentum.
It was a great give and pull. And Jackson took it around the left-hand side. Little zone read option up the middle, and he kept it. Reason you can't see it is across the field. I'm looking at it on TV, zoomed in screen.
Able to pick up some positive yards and bring up a 2nd and short as we go into a break. And we definitely want to, once again, as always, give a special thanks to our top high school sports bloggers. Bleacher.com, Florida High School Football.com, Florida Gridiron Press.
And we don't want to forget the foundation that girders it all, the Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation Media Group. If you want to reach us for any mentoring for any of your student athletes around the country, go to kdafoundation.org. That is kdafoundation.org.
So 2nd and we'll call it inches coming up for the Tigers. Pistol formation, and Jackson's going to keep it rolling to the near side, trying to assess the defense. Flush now, gets this one up into double coverage, incomplete. Pass intended for Jordan Calvan. And a 3rd and short coming up. All spotted at the 25 of the Chargers. (21-7) is the count. Tigers keep it up the middle, and they do have enough to move.
It's very close.
For a 1st down.
Very close. They're gonna give it to him.
And that is enough to move the sticks. 5:36 on the clock. 21-7. Hallandale Chargers in control. Here from Charger Stadium. Trying to pick up their 9th win on the season. Tigers knocking on the door inside their territory. Long sustained drive to Jackson straight up the gut. He'll pick up about 8. Nice clock management thus far. They've chewed up about 4.5 minutes on this particular series. And it's been the Jackson Show as advertised throughout. Empty backfield now for him. Mason in motion, fakes it, keeps it up the middle, weaving through the defense. He's going to get 6. A little teasing going on, as you mentioned, Glenn. Managed to get it in, though, and that will be 6 for the Tigers. He didn't know where the goal line was.
It was the muck line.
Yeah.
He comes up, and he was lucky it wasn't a 5-yard line.
Absolutely. His teammate had to say, hey, let's go. Get it in there.
I'm surprised he isn't called on it. Bringing the game closer. There's some laundry on the field. Is that, nope, that's just a towel down there. Okay.
So extra point coming up. That will cut it to a 7-point lead, as you see 4:39 on the clock here in the third quarter of play. Snap is back, and the kick is through and good. So we got a 7-point contest, 4:39 on the clock. 6A 15 district championship on the line. Hallandale Beach Chargers hosting the Boynton Beach Tigers.
How about that, folks? Up there in the north, see that palm tree sitting right by that scoreboard. What a beautiful shot. And yes, you're watching high school football primetime Friday night, powered by HSPN Sports, South Florida.
So Tigers hanging in there, trying to make a game of it, both these two teams. 4-0 in district play coming into this one. Boynton barely able to stay undefeated coming into this one. Holding off Coconut Creek in the waning seconds, pulled out a 63-58 W at Coconut Creek, knocked them out of the playoff chase, but had 6 turnovers en route to that win, so it was not easy. As I said, picked up the win in the last 10 seconds of the game, and they're going to be penalized for that. So we'll see if Boynton will decline the penalty, make him kick it again, or accept field position. Legal procedure declined, and the Chargers in business. They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 40. Nursing a 7-point lead in this one. Tigers able to just punch it in, 21-14 to count. And we got a stoppage in play. Don't know if we had everything set before the snap, or if there is actually a penalty. I don't see anything going on. They'll reset it, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the 40. How many huddles do you see anymore? I mean, they actually got a huddle going. Wow.
Hey, they run a pro-style offense as well. And you'll see sometimes they'll have a fullback. He's traditional in a lot of ways, and that's why he's kept with it. And it's been successful, very successful.
Under the center, and they complete the pass, and has some room, and just got some momentum going, and finally corralled and tackled.
Oh boy.
Narrow the shotgun.
Coming back.
Wow. Didn't see that. They snuck that one in on me. A holding will negate a nice catch and run by Narrow Nishaka. So they mark it off. One of several holding penalties against the Chargers tonight. 4:30 on the clock, 21-14, Hallandale over Boynton Beach. 1st and 20, go with a little wraparound reverse and get on the game.
Good tackle there by number 55, Jacoby Wilson.
So still a second, about 16 coming up for the Chargers. The fake bot snap, and I think the Tigers fell on it.
Looks like they did. Looks like they've got it.
Wow, Chargers dodge a bullet. They recover the.
Wow.
It looked like for a quick second that number 32, Coy Banks, got on it for Boynton Beach.
He had it for a second. He did. We had a close-up on it. He did have it in his clutches for a second.
So a big third down, and we'll call it about 19 coming up for Huntley and the Charger offense. Spread set, one back set, takes a 3-step drop, now flushed out of the pocket on the run, off the fingertips of the intended receiver. Pass intended at time for Joshua Hammond, could pull it in. 6 foot, 170-pound junior, couldn't pull it in, incomplete, and the Chargers will have to give it up.
Great defensive play by number 3, Traquan Smith. Strong safety for the Tigers that broke that one up.
Dante Silencio back to receive for Boynton. Chris Cotto prepared for the punt. The Charger punt team.
It's a 60-yard punt.
60-yard punt.
Wow. That's as good as you'll see. Took a Charger bounce, about 20-25 yards, and the Tigers will start out 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. 21-14 to count, Chargers up with 2:47 on the clock here in the third.
Yeah, but the guy did 10 yards where he was from.
They're spotting this one, Glenn, at the 1 yard line of the Tigers. That is what they will start out 1st and 10. So a 99-yard drive is what they're looking at to tie this one up.
And the guy that can do it is Lamar Jackson.
And they give the carry up the gut. Decent 5-yard run. It'll bring up 2nd and about 5 coming up.
Well, I just saw Kilby Lane take on the big defensive tackle, and he got pancaked by Dwayne Taylor, number 74. And, you know, he got up, but Dwayne kind of looked back at him. That's okay. Kilby's coming up hard. And bring it back on. 7.
Through the Tigers. And that'll be close to 1st down yardage, but they're still going to come up about 1.5 yards short. Tigers deep in a hole. Started from their own 1, facing a 3rd and short. A 3 wide receiver set with an I formation. Now go with the pistol set for Jackson. Give it up the middle and might have enough right at the sticks. I think they might measure this. We'll see. And we've got a Charger down. Timeout. We'll see who the injured Charger is. Well, big 3rd down and about 2, we'll call it, coming up. And another sideline warning issued to the Chargers.
That's good for a 1st down for the Tigers.
And it will be enough to give the Tigers a 1st down and 10 at their own 18. 1:30 on the clock, 21-14 is your score. Hallandale Beach holding on to the lead.
Referees saying roll the clock.
Tigers keep it on the ground. There is a flag on the play. And that's an illegal.
I think that was Malik Wilson
Against the Tigers.
No, that's number 56. Romaine Smith just pancaked one of the Chargers.
That'll back them up just short of the 15-yard line. 15. 1:20 on the clock here in the third. 21-14 is your score. Hallandale Beach taking the lead going into half, holding on to it. There is flags on the play as the Tigers keep it on the ground. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, if that. Wait on the flag. And a legal shift once more against the Tigers. That'll back them up 5 more. 1:07 on the clock, as you can see. 21-14 is your score. The visitors have the ball, but in a deep hole in their own territory. Looked like they had something going to start off this series, but stalling out as they face about a third and about 18, we'll call it. One back set, man in motion and rolling. Setting up, fires one across the middle, high and over the intended receiver's head. He'd have had to be about 6'6" to pull that one in, Calvin Johnson-esque.
Also, the flash didn't help him over there.
Yeah. So that'll force a punt by the Tigers.
Make sure you tell A to get a job.
Still third down. Got an empty set going on. Mark Jackson's got
Tabari Kinsey. Back deep. Looked like he was trying to possibly catch the punt, but deciding to go for it once again on the Tigers. And they might be close. They faced about a 4th and 18, decided to go for it. And I think they got it, Glenn.
very close, very close. Looks like it's right on the mark.
We do have an injured Tiger back toward the back of the end zone. So a timeout on the field. And I think that's going to be enough to get the first down. Timeout on the field for the injured Tiger. So a 4th and about 18, and the Tigers convert. They just simply do not want to punt.
Well, we heard, well, I'm not going to say anything until we get confirmation of the down player. But we heard it may be Lamar Jackson. That would really hurt him.
All right. Tell him, give him the radio.
We're trying to get a number. Yes.
It is Jackson. Jackson. The entire offense for the Tigers shaken up on the play after the completion. Not good. As you said, that would be disastrous for the Tigers in this one.
He's tough. He's walking off on his own power. He must have gotten his bell rung.
And it looks like Jordan Galvan is taking over at the QB spot for the time being. We'll see how this shakes out. Around 20 seconds remaining here in the third quarter play. We've got a false start. against the Tigers. That'll back them up 5.
New quarterback, new cadence.
Can the Tigers keep the momentum going? And it looks as if, looked for a second as if that might have been Jackson. It was not Jackson. Galvan, new QB, as Jackson injured on the previous play, and we got a stoppage in play once again.
Throw them phones up, baby.
And that's the end of the third quarter, folks.
Actually, that is the signaling the end of the fourth. So heading into the fourth, we got a tight one. 21-14 to count. Both these two teams coming in averaging big time points. Boynton 50 points a game. Hallandale at 40 points a game. Well short of that so far, but a whole quarter to come up, and we'll see if we see the return of Jackson. That will be huge for the Tigers if he is unable to return. Shaken up on the previous play, converted a 4th down play to keep the series alive for his team, but injured in the process. We'll see.
You're watching High School Game Day on HSPN, South Florida. Biggest 6A 15 matchup of the season with title ramifications. We've got 12 minutes left. It's going to be Hallandale Chargers, or is it going to be the Boynton Beach Tigers? Tigers just took a big loss from quarterback Lamar Jackson.
But Jackson's back, Glenn. He's actually back on the field. So coming out of the game momentarily, got himself together. He is back in the game, has returned.
I knew it wouldn't take him long, and once again, we want to give a big thank you to all of our sponsors tonight, all of the #1 sports bloggers in the state of Florida, around the nation.
Jackson, 7-step drop, closest one up across the middle, and incomplete, about 5 yards too much in front of Jordan Calvan.
He just threw that ball 73 yards with a flick.
Well, we talked about the fact that Louisville is looking at him heavily. And as I said last week, if he's anything like Mr. Bridgewater, who of course now plays for the Vikings, they got something special on their hands with him. Nonetheless, incomplete on the pass, and we still got a 2nd down and long situation. Flags on the play. Flushed out of the pocket and has to throw back to the other side, and trying to find somewhere to go is Silencio. I don't think it's going to stick though, and we've got a holding penalty that'll bring the Tigers back 10 more. 21-14 is your score. Hallandale holding on here at senior night. Happy Halloween to all you folks out there, all you trick-or-treaters. Be safe. And wherever you may be watching, checking us out, we thank you for doing so. Tonight's game brought to you by Bleacher.com, powered by HSPN. Chris Jenkins, Glenn Stout on the mics with you, and completing it to Silencio from Jackson. That'll be enough to make it 3rd and manageable. Backed up and hole, so to speak, were the Tigers, but still facing a 3rd down and about 13, we'll call it. Jackson in the shotgun, drops back, forced to a up, and just completely open, wide open, shakes to the middle of the field, at the 20, at the 10, at the 5, touchdown, Tigers, and we're knotted up at 21 that quickly.
Xander Bernard, number 4 for the Tigers, bring it within 1 point. That was a 70-yard completion, wide open.
Glenn, I'm wondering if that's Bernard. He was supposed to be injured. open at around the 50-yard line, and he just did what he needed to do the rest of the way.
Oh my.
And we're going to have encroachment possibly against the Chargers. That'll move it half the distance if that's the case on the extra point attempt.
We've got ourselves a ball game getting ready to tie it up. But
yes, we do.
We've seen the Tigers
struggle with extra points.
Not make one extra point with 63 points last week.
Versus Coconut Creek left the equivalent of a touchdown. That's a very good point.
And here you go. They're going to go for, I believe, 2 because Lamar Jackson's coming back in.
So actually they will move it half the distance. That is against the Chargers as you take a look at the scoreboard. 21-20 is the score, extra point ensuing, and it looks like the Tigers are going to go for 2 to try and take the lead again. And they go with a carry. Jordan Calvan on the carry. We're about 2.5 yards out. 20-20 ball game here in the 4th, 10:49 on the clock.
That's Jordan Calvan. That's number 5, one of our top athletes, senior, with offers from Middle Tennessee, Bowling Green, and Southern Miss. Obviously, he plays a little bit of quarterback as well. 21-22, all of a sudden the Tigers take the lead, as you can see, with 10:49 on the clock. You're watching high school football primetime Friday night, powered by HSPN Sports. Hallandale versus Boynton Beach.
Big time momentum swing in this one. It's Hallandale able to score 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes going into the half. Tigers come roaring back. Scored 2 touchdowns so in this one, and go for 2-point conversion on a penalty half the distance to the goal, and they take the lead up 22-21. Now the Chargers have to track down the kickoff and finally get a return out of it, but it's just going to be short of the 20. They're going to mark it around the 15. So Chargers trying to gain the momentum back. 10:39 on the clock, 1-point game at this point. Boynton Beach up 22-21. Of course, this is the Class 6A15 District Championship on the line tonight. Penalty against the Chargers, against the Tigers. And I believe that was an unsportsmanlike that moved it up 15 yards. Chargers in business now as a result of the penalty. You got a triple formation to the near side. They go with the screen pass. It's got some momentum. Coming up just short of the 50. Tripped up that time. Nice run by McCowan. 6'1", 190 senior. Trucking forward. That moves the sticks. And a fresh set of downs coming up for the Chargers.
And Taj McCowan, number 2, one of our top athletes from Hallandale Beach, running back, senior, offers and committed to UCF. 700 yards this season, 13 touchdowns, 11-yard average per carry.
And he got some nice blocking from his receivers with that triple formation. And made the best of it. And keep it on the ground once again. McCowan on the carry once again. Give him about 4 on the carry.
I believe I'm going to OD on this corn starch and the sugar. Never ate so much candy in my life.
Coming up on the 10-minute mark here in this one. 1 point contest, 22-21. Tigers with the lead. Hallandale trying to regain the lead. Marching down the field as we speak. They go with the little bubble screen pass. Breaking tackles. Close to first down yardage. I believe that was number 9, Chris Cotto. I think he's going to be right at the sticks. And yes, he has enough. So Hallandale trying to answer. On the march as we speak. Actually, it won't be enough for the first. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down in inches. As they did not give the Chargers the first down indication. And yardage necessary to go with the bunch formation. We'll probably go with the sneak from Huntley, and he pushes the pile forward, and they'll have the first. Coming up on the 9-minute mark, still a 1 point contest. Tigers over the Chargers. Here from Charger Stadium, Chris Jenkins, Glenn Stout here on HSPN. Brought to you by Bleacher.com. We got a good one here in Class 6A 15. 2 undefeateds going at it. We got a tight one. Back and forth we go. 1st and 10 for the Chargers. They keep it on the ground. McGowan plowing forward. He's going to be close to another first down, maybe a yard and a half short.
He's stopped by number 22 for the Tigers, Richard Young, senior quarterback, strong safety.
Coming up on the 8-minute mark, still 1 point contest. Chargers trying to take the lead once again. And a bobble snap and still floating around. And I think the Chargers came up with it and got what they could, but that is going to be a huge play because it's going to, instead of being a 2nd and short, it's going to be a 3rd. And we'll call it 3 coming up now. Able to still maintain possession though. Can the Tiger defense hold, or can the Chargers regain the lead? Tigers have scored 15 unanswered to be exact, here over the last quarter. Huntley gets a duck up there, and that one might have been tipped, I believe it was, by that Tiger defense. So the Tiger defense steps up big, forces a 4th down and short. We got to call it about a 4th and 3 coming up. 7:28 on the clock, 22-21 the count.
Big 4th down play for the Chargers.
4th and 3, we'll call it. Huntley. And they're going to get it. He's free. Forget about it. Touchdown, Chargers. Got around that side, and there was nobody there.
No Connor staying home. They crashed down. All it was green and checkerboard. Touchdown, Chargers.
Big time touchdown score for the Chargers, and they regain the lead. A big 4th and 3 conversion, and they get 6 out of it for McCowan taking it to the house. We've got a timeout. Boynton wants to talk about it. Extra point coming up. I think they're going to decide if they're going to kick it or go for 2. 27-22 is your score right now. 7:28 remaining here in the 4th. So a 27-yard touchdown scored by McCowan on a 4th and 3 from the Chargers. So coming out of timeout, looks like they're going to keep their offense on the field and go for 2. 7:28 on the clock, as you can see. And they're going to try and go for it with a run, and they convert. 2-point conversion. Is the score.
7-point ball game, and that's very important. 7:28. There is plenty of time on the clock for this high-flying Tiger offense. But I'll tell you what, Hallandale brought that defense, and they're going to be tight in this last 4th quarter. They will put tons of pressure on Jackson, and they're going to make it hard on the corners.
Well, and we talked about it. We've touched on it. The extra point attempts. The last time the Tigers scored, went for 2 and converted. And by the Chargers converting the 2-point conversion, it is a 7-point game at this point. So that will force the Tigers to possibly have to go for 2 if they want to win, but have to kick the all-important extra point if they want to tie this one up. So Tigers will get it back, 7:28 on the clock. High and deep into the end zone, and they're going to run it out. We'll see where they spot it. It's right at the 20, and that is where the Tigers will start off. Plenty of time here in this one.
That was 27. Quentin Wilcher on the return.
Took a chance. Got it right back to where they would normally get it, maybe about a yard short. I think they're going to mark this one. Plows ahead. McCowan 27-yard run, and Jackson scrambling. And the Tigers. And Hallandale going nuts. So on that one. It's kind of difficult to front of Jackson when he gave the pass up. They're going to keep it on the ground and shaking through the defense. He's going to have something on the sidelines and finally knocked out of bounds. Big time run, Jordan Calvin.
Coach Cody, come here.
Wow.
Halloween
42-yard run by Calvin, making it happen for the Tigers. 7:02 on the clock, 7-point contest. Hallandale hanging on. They keep it on the ground once again. And a big-time stop defensively and flags
fumble
on the play, though.
Hallandale's got the ball. It was a fumble when he got hit. Number three, one of our impact players, Kilby Lane, recovers the fumble.
It happened so quick, folks. I'm glad you saw it, Glenn. I didn't even see it. And that might be the backbreaker if Hallandale can chew on the clock. Coming up on the 6-minute, 30-second mark. And Hallandale forces a huge turnover as it looked like the Tigers had the momentum on a 42-yard run by Calvin. And I think Hallandale might be penalized. They've gotten a couple of sideline warnings. We'll see what happens.
Well, they're absolutely on the field right now.
Clock is stopped with 6:18 on the clock.
Wow. How quick it happens. Big hits, big-time players making big-time plays.
29-22. Chargers with the lead. And they're going to actually put time back on the clock. So they're going to put 3 seconds on the clock. That's part of the reason for the stoppage.
You said 60 or 2?
So actually putting several seconds back on the clock. They're going to actually rewind it back to 6:42 left in this one. Chargers will see what they can do with the ball. If they can chew up this clock and come out here with a big win to stay undefeated. 6A15 district playoff action. District gain of about 4 on the play. McCowan on the carry. And a water break timeout. And as they take a timeout, we will too take one. You're watching high school football on HSPN South Florida. Stay with us.
Unplug that fan down. Unplug the fan.
Hold on to that ball.
Back to action. Clock running, coming up on the 6-minute mark here in this one.
What a game.
We've got a good game, absolutely. Chargers trying to milk the clock here, nursing a 7-point lead, facing a 3rd and short. One back set. Will they keep it on the ground? Go with a long, hard count. And McGowan, for all our critics out there, on the carry. And he's still plowing forward. I think he's going to have enough to move the sticks. I think he's got enough. And a big time conversion on 3rd and short. And the Chargers keep it moving. Gowan on a nice hard run to move the sticks. Ball just short of their own 45. And they'll keep it in run formation. 2 tight end set. Actually decide to pass. They're going to go up long. And receiver open, wide open.
Big time catch.
Set up in a run formation. Glenn go with a 7-step drop. On the reception, keeping the drive alive.
40-yard pass play. And he makes it, and he's going to get it down inside the 20-yard line. 4:57 on the clock, and they're driving it. What a game.
Only 4:50 now remaining here in regulation. Chargers nursing a 7-point lead, up 29-22, I formation. Keep it on the ground, McGowan. And he gets what he can. We'll give him about 4 on the carry.
Good for a gain of about 4 yards. We'll bring up second and about 6 yards.
Approaching the 4-minute mark here in this one. Seven-point contest, district championship on the line. Both these two teams undefeated in district play as well as in the regular season. All the momentum with Hallandale up to this point, coming up on the 4-minute mark. 3-back formation. Huntley floats this one up in the end corner end zone. Touchdown Chargers. No flags, big time score.
Oh my! Oh my!
6 or 8.
I believe that was Joshua Hammond taking that one in.
Touchdown, Joshua Hammond for the Chargers.
Beautiful pass to the
And
corner.
that might be the backbreaker, Glenn, as it's going to force the Tigers into hurry-up mode even more so than they already were. They're going to fake the extra point, throw it back to corner of the end zone, and caught, but just short of the end zone. So that could have been catastrophe in the making.
It could
right there.
have been. It was a tip ball. That could have gone all the way the other way. But it's a 41-22 ball game. 19 points up.
Woo!
They've got to score 3 times.
Absolutely.
I think we've got a pretty good call here. The Chargers defending their home turf.
Absolutely.
They could be the 6A 15 district champions.
Only 3:51 away.
My, oh my.
We expected a good one. We've got one. And on that score, Hallandale right at their point average, averaging 40 coming into this one. Nothing left in them. 41-22 is your score. 3:51 on the clock.
Hey, 35. Score's 35-22.
Oh, yeah.
29-22, right?
Yeah, yeah.
35-22.
$35-22. $3:51 on the clock. 35-22 is the score. A little miscalculating on the scoring. We got it right though. 35-22. Tigers with the ball, trying to answer. Not a lot of time, and they get it right up to around the 20, and that is where they will take over 1st and 10. And all the momentum is on Hallandale's side, trying to protect the home turf, of course. It's been the Jackson show throughout. Does he have enough to bring his team back? Jackson in the pistol. 2 wides to the near and far. 1 man in motion. Rolls out, looking for a screen pass. I don't think he had it. Trying to keep it alive. Decides to tuck it, get what he can, and picks up about 2.
Jackson slides and he's safe for about a 3-yard gain.
That'll kill the clock at 3:34 now.
Big difference in the score, making it a 13-point game, which is 2 scores. Jackson's got plenty of speed to get it down there, but I just think this Hallandale defense is so tough all season long.
They're going to stiffen. They're going to key in on him. You got to believe. 2nd down and about 8, we'll call it, for Jackson. Empty backfield. Goes up across the middle. Incomplete. Had nowhere to go with that one. I'm not sure who he was going for on that.
He was going for the wide out, but the corner jammed him at the front of the line. He never got in his pattern. And I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't one of our impact players of the game, Malik Henderson.
Well, you spoke about him heavily coming into this one. So that's going to bring up a big third down, and we'll call it 8 for Boynton Beach. Jackson, empty backfield once again, trying to find something, goes across the middle, complete, and pops the receiver, but that'll still be enough to move the sticks. A big time conversion.
His go-to player, Chauncey
Mason hauling that one in. Clock stops with 3:20 on the clock. 35-22 is your score. Hallandale, all the momentum. Tigers trying to answer. And there is a stoppage in play. Ball just across the 45. We'll say it's about the 46-yard line. An unsportsman against the Chargers. So that is huge. That's going to march it 15 yards up the field and give the Tigers an automatic first down. Wow.
That is big. Down by 2 scores. Plenty of time on the clock. They can't get any mental errors to give that kind of yardage up. Got to make them earn it.
Absolutely. So that'll spot it just across the 40 at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for Jackson and the Tigers. 3 wides to the near. And there's a flag on the play. It's going to be offside, so this one will not count. Doesn't matter. But a huge catch in double coverage. All for none. It will not count, folks.
Receiver took off early.
Yeah.
There's a flag down on the play.
Huge catch for the Tigers and will not count.
Offside.
Back, the Tigers up 5 yards. That's the worst time something like that could happen because you got your receiver going up, making a huge play, and it's all for none.
My, oh my. My, my. Back, they only needed 2.
Just a step too soon.
Oh my goodness, it quieted down the stand, the
That
crowd.
would have been huge and got the Tigers back in it quick, fast, and in a hurry. And Boynton will talk about it with 2:59 on the clock. Boynton trying to hold on, Glenn. This has turned into a tight one.
We got to hold off 3 more minutes of this clock with this internet speed, and we will have it.
And we want to give a big thanks once again to the top high school sports bloggers in the nation for live streaming tonight's game. Bleacher.com, FloridaHighSchoolFootball.com, FloridaGridironPreps.com, and FloridaVarsity.com.
All of those people that are watching us from those 70 countries around the world, we thank you for tuning in, as well as every state in the union. This last week's state that held it longer than anybody was Pennsylvania. They watched the whole broadcast with about 35 people.
Wow.
The biggest viewer around the world was Thailand. One viewer watched the whole game. And listen, if you were out there and you hear us, you can tweet us at HSPN Sports. At HSPN Sports, and we will see it and we will acknowledge it. We appreciate all of you watching us. Don't miss us next week.
So
Monarch.
1st and 15 out of the break, scrambling. Here's Jackson. Now sets up and fires one in the corner end zone. Touchdown!
Wide
Tiger.
open.
Woo!
Wide open receiver.
Wherever you may be watching, listening, we thank you for doing so. We got a good one. And the Tigers strike back that quick.
Folks, you'll see it. It was in the corner. We didn't get our eyes on it, but we will certainly see if we can get it on a replay. But
And
what a
the
catch.
almighty, all-important extra point coming up. Snap is back. Ball is up. Kick squeaks through that right upright, and it is good.
There you
So-
go. 6-point ball game. 2:47 left on the clock. Chris, just like last week,
Coming down to the wire, folks.
is it going down to the last few
Good
seconds?
stuff. Good stuff. We are glad we're here bringing this game to you. Two undefeateds going at it back and forth. Undefeated in district play as well. Here in 6A 15 from Hallandale Stadium, and I should say Charger Stadium here in Hallandale Beach, Florida. Chris Jenkins, Glenn Stout bringing the action tonight. Good stuff.
Hey, Terrell Cobb, we enjoy you watching us and that shout out, man. I'm glad you're enjoying this game all the way out there in Dallas.
Tell them to watch the side. Tell them to watch the
We have, we thank you for watching the show, and we thank you for letting us know. Terrell Cobb out in Dallas, Texas.
2:47 on the clock, 35-29 is your score. Hallandale trying to hold on. Tigers answer, get the extra point attempt and cut it to a lead of 6. Now they will kick off to the Chargers and see if the Chargers can chew up some clock here. They go with the onside kick and take it away by the Tigers. There are flags on the field. We'll see how this goes down. But the Tiger side went nuts. And I don't think it went the distance required. It needs to go 10 yards before the kicking team can make a play for it.
Coach Swain, Boynton bottom from the bottom right to the top. He knows how to call a football game.
So as we get this one sorted out, this will be big. Obviously, will give the Tigers huge momentum to try and take the lead. Of course, on the extra point make, which is all important based on the amount of problems they had last year. They are going to wave the flag off, and the Tigers will get it back. And they're going to look to keep it trucking, keep it moving. Wow.
Oh my, it's going to get interesting. Deja vu, 7
Tigers.
days ago.
Unbelievable, Glenn. Unbelievable. They will have 1st and 10 just across midfield into Chargers territory at the 49.
Coach Jones wants an explanation from the referee.
Can Hallandale hold on? We'll see. 2:47 on the clock to be exact. 6-point contest. 35-29 is the score. Tigers on the move. Jackson, empty backfield. 5 wide receivers set. As he gets the play. Man in motion. They go with the reverse. It's got some blockers. And gets the first down, plus about 5 more. That'll be enough to move the sticks. And the clock stops at the 2:30 mark. 35-29 is your score. Hallandale holding on by a thread. Ball spotted at the 35 of the Chargers. We got a timeout on the field. Folks wanting to talk about it. Gather themselves a little bit. Waning minutes left in this one. Back and forth we go. 6A, District 15, championship on the line. 2 undefeateds going back and forth here in this one. Once again, coming out of the timeout, it will be 1st and 10 for the Tigers in Hallandale territory, all spotted at the 35. On a nice run to keep the Sticks moving forward. Tigers trying to take the lead on a score. Of course, the all-important 2-point conversion if they do score, down by 6.
Folks, we are hanging in there. Internet speed is dropping off. We've got 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Hang in there with us.
And Jackson get this one up, Glenn, and the receiver slipped. Well, they might have had something. Pass intended that time for Jordan Calvan.
We're bottoming out. We brought the resolution down as low as we can go. So stay with it. We are scrambling in the box to maintain it.
2:18 remaining. Tigers down by 6, but driving and are in Hallandale territory. Jackson, empty backfield. They go with a fake run. Jackson tripped up, and there's a flag coming in after the play's over. We'll see who that's on. And wow, big time holding penalty called against Boynton Beach. That'll back it up 10 yards.
Huge. We want to say thank you to Wayne Steed watching from Houston, Texas. Thank you for your shout out. Watch it to the end. This is a barn burner. We're going to hold it on for you.
So 2nd down and 20 coming up on the holding penalty. And I think they're going to possibly put some time back on the clock. And I think they're going to put 10 seconds back on the clock. We had some clock issues with scoring, time. Just stay with us, folks. We're doing the best we can.
The stands are shaking. The box is shaking. This is a module. This isn't one of those freestanders. This is a module set up here. So if the cameras are shaking, it's because the fans are moving.
So 2nd and 20 as they do the 10-yard mark off for the Tigers. Jackson, 5-step drop, flushed. He's going to have to tuck it, and he will, and he's going to get back what they lost, plus about 2 more. So this will bring up a 3rd down and about 7 on the scramble from Jackson. He showed that elusiveness just now, folks. Under 2 minutes remaining in this one. 1:56 to be exact, 35-29 is the count. Hallandale hanging on by the skin of their teeth. 3rd and 7 coming up. And Jackson, he's going to shake and bake, and I think he's going to have the 1st down. He gets there. That'll keep it moving. Big time 1st down conversion on the scramble from Jackson. 1:46 on the clock now. Tigers driving. And they're going to spot it around the 25, 1st and 10.
I love the balance of that young man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They keep it on the ground.
It is slick, McGowan, the rest of them, it is slick, but you know, I'm watching them make cuts, and they're cutting with 2 feet, not 1 feet, so they are used to playing on this turf. That is a sign of just a precision athlete, and when Jackson went out of bounds that last time, he went out of bounds like he was on skates, and he did not go down.
And the clock is ticking. Clock becoming a factor. Coming up on the 1 minute mark now.
Here we go again, folks. Deja vu.
35-29 the score. Tigers. They go with the option play. Calvan keeps his momentum, but dropped inbounds, of course.
Flags on the play. Probably a hold.
I don't know if that's flags or if that's a timeout.
They've got the
Yeah, actually, there is. There is a flag on the play. This will be huge.
personal foul, face
Personal
mask.
foul.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So under a minute now, we've got a personal foul. Is that the 5 or 15-yard variety? We'll wait and see. My goodness, that's going to take it 15. Check that. I think it's just 5. And we got a timeout. So a 5-yard penalty, what they assessed. But that will move it to around the 10, Glenn, coming out of the timeout. So Hallandale wanting to talk about it.
Chris, this 6A matchup, this has got to be the biggest game. We said this last week, but this is even earlier. You're going to find this game is going to probably be better than the matchup that they see in Orlando because of the caliber of players that we have out here. Not one of them is willing to give up, and we're going down 56 seconds left in this game. It is a 6-point ball game. Everybody is standing up. It is a pleasure, and it's remarkable to see these type of athletes playing this well. And it's just exciting to be here 2 weeks in a row to see this kind of athletic ability out on the field.
And as you said, you're talking about double-digit Division I athletes going at it. So first and goal coming up, and Jackson stifles.
Sack.
Big-time defense by Hallandale stepping up. Take your pick. About 5 Chargers in there on the stop.
Big sack.
Coach, make sure you tell those DBs
And there is a
stay outside
timeout
the container.
taken by
Tell them to stay outside the container.
the visitors. Boynton wanting to talk about it. They just used their last timeout. 47 seconds on the clock. We got a 6-point game, 35-29. Here from Hallandale Beach, Chris Jenkins. 6A, 15, district championship on the line. Boynton Beach Tigers in the house taking on Hallandale Beach Chargers.
Holding on, folks. We are hanging off a bridge.
Make sure to tell those kids to stay
So
outside.
coming out of the timeout, we've got a 2nd down and goal.
Tell the ends to make sure they stay outside the container.
Ball spotted.
If they get a ball.
Actually, for Jackson, and we're gonna have a false start, and that's gonna back
them up. Back them up.
Boynton up 5 yards. You just can't have those kind of mental breakdowns in this kind of game. Unbelievable.
This one's going down to the final play.
So that'll back them up to the 15, we'll call it. And that'll be a 2nd down and 15 from Hallandale 15-yard line. They're almost picked off big time, stepping up defensively to bat that one away from Hallandale. Receiver was open momentarily, and Hallandale closed on it. Third down.
2 more shots at it.
Jackson with the snap, floats this one up on the fade route, and did he catch it?
Touchdown!
Tigers! Wow!
Oh
Fade
my!
route, corner, end zone, touchdown Tigers. And this is the biggest extra point on earth right now.
And they don't kick them very well.
35 tight with 30 seconds remaining.
If Hallandale can put pressure on the edge, they can guarantee that they can get this kick and block it. They have not gotten an extra point run last week with 63 points. The Chargers got to take the edge. A lot of pressure on this young kicker.
Tigers leaving the equivalent of a touchdown on the board last week, unable to convert, several missed extra point attempts. This one's huge. This will give the Tigers the lead. And someone jumped off. I don't know if the Hallandale player was guilty or if he was enticed by the Tigers, but this is going to be a big penalty coming up.
I hope it didn't skip the touchdown. It skipped the touchdown.
So did they pick the flag up? I'm not sure what happened. Extra point attempt still to come, though. I don't think it was moved any closer. Snap is back. Kick is up. And they take the lead with 30 seconds remaining.
1 point ball game, 30 seconds on the line. Chargers are going to get the ball. Can they answer?
Can Huntley and Hallandale move the ball up the field to attempt a field goal to win this one? Or better yet, take it in, going long distance. Either way, they're going to put it up in the air to try and get some yardage. But a huge fade route touchdown score by the Tigers. Extra point attempt, and they take the lead up one with 30 seconds remaining, 36-35.
I got you, man.
Over the Chargers.
Can the Chargers pull this one out? They've got
Still
the young
enough
men.
time. These two teams can score quickly, and it would not surprise me if something big happened. And they're going to get a little squib kick. And Hallandale falls on it immediately. Kirby Lane shows some good hands and falls on it. And that does help Hallandale, obviously not having to take it from their own 20 or even deeper on a kickoff return. They fall on it immediately. No time elapses off the clock. We still got a 1 point contest. And we'll see if the Chargers can pull out a miracle. 30 seconds remaining, 36-35 is your score here from Charger Stadium. Huntley goes from the shotgun, empty backfield. Oh my goodness. We actually got a delay of game called against the Tigers. So that'll move it up 5 more, just short of midfield. Ball spotted at the 49 for Huntley. Empty backfield, rolling to the near side. Completes it, out of bounds. Cooper on the reception. 23 seconds left.
Good picture, too. Fast string.
That'll be enough for a first down. So 1st and 10 coming up. Ball spotted just across the 40. We'll call it the 38. Empty backfield once again for Huntley. 4 wide receiver set, 3 to the near, 1 to the far, rolling. And I think he might have threw it a pick. Okay, incomplete. Several, or practically the entire Hallandale team in front of us, so we couldn't see that one. That pass was incomplete. 17 seconds left.
Chris, he's probably got enough time maybe for 3 plays. He's got to get it inside, probably 25 yard, 30 yards.
Ball spotted at the 38. of the Tigers. Huntley rolling out to the far side, trying to set up. Floats this one up, and it's complete.
Oh my goodness, complete.
Outside the 10.
9 seconds left inside the 10-yard line.
Unbelievable. Pass is complete.
9 seconds left.
No
Do they have enough
timeouts for
time?
either team.
Oh, we got one time.
Actually, they holding on to one. We just found out late. They're going to spike it, though, to kill the clock.
Oh.
9 seconds remaining. Maybe a chance for 2 plays, one to the end zone, maybe something to the side to pick up something. Or will they keep it in the middle and set it up for a field goal?
I'm not sure if you ever want to leave it up to the kicker. Maybe one time to the end zone, and if you have to, kick it in. Well, they're setting it up now.
Timeout.
They're setting it up now. They're setting it up now with 9 seconds.
And Tigers actually sitting on one more timeout as well. I didn't think either team had timeouts.
They ain't have no timeout.
If they don't have a timeout, this is going to be huge for Hallandale.
Well, they've stopped
I
play.
thought neither team had a timeout. It turns out both teams had one.
Going down to the last play of the game. Just like last week, this one for a district title, folks.
And I believe unofficially this is going to be about a 31-yard attempt coming out of the timeout for Hallandale.
Wow.
36-35 to score. 9 seconds remaining here in this one.
High school football prime time powered by HSPN Sports South Florida. You've got the last play of the game to decide a district championship.
So unofficially 31-yard attempt for Hallandale for the field goal. 9 seconds remaining, down 1. Celso Lopez. And there is a stoppage of play. I think they're going to reset the clock. Once again, clock issues. And 8 seconds officially remaining in this one. 1-point contest. Hallandale trying to pull it out. 31-yard attempt by Lopez. Snap is back. Kick is up. Will it have enough? And he's through.
He gets it. He gets it. Hallandale gets it. Hallandale gets it. Hallandale gets it. They win the district title on one kick.
Lopez on a 31-yard kick, folks. And Hallandale pulls it out with no time remaining. 38-36 your final. Mayhem on the field.
The referee is signaling to put time on the clock. The referee is signaling to put 3 seconds on the clock.
Unbelievable.
The referee is signaling to put 3 seconds on the clock.
I guess it would make sense that all the time wouldn't elapse. It was 8 seconds. It was 8 seconds before the attempt, Glenn.
3 seconds till they win a 6A district championship. The Chargers have been waiting a long time.
Back and forth we go. And will it come down to a miracle now by the Tigers? Only 3 seconds remain, so you got to figure they're going to try and go Stanfordish and throw it around and see what they can get. 3 seconds left on the clock. Hallandale Beach pulls it off, hitting a 31-yarder from Lopez.
First field goal ever.
We understand that is the first field goal ever by Lopez. And what an opportune time.
And I don't think the Tigers are going to get an opportunity. I think Hallandale fell on it. Didn't give him a chance to return it. And officially now, 38-36, Hallandale picks up the win. And they are the 6A-15 district champions, and they stay undefeated, folks. Move to 9-0, 5-0 in district play. Woo! Good stuff tonight.
I haven't seen 2 weeks. And like I said, I can guarantee you that's bigger than any state championship with all of those loaded athletes. Boynton Beach Tigers did not come in here to lose this game. They come back within seconds to go up 1 point. They don't give up. The daggone Hallandale Tigers, the Hallandale, I'm so excited I can't even talk. The Hallandale Chargers drive the ball back down with 9 seconds left. You've got a young man that's never kicked a field goal in his career here at the Chargers, and he puts it up and through the uprights. The Hallandale Chargers win.
And when we said it, whenever Hallandale got the ball back with 30 seconds remaining, that would be plenty of time. 2 big-time completions to get the ball inside of Tiger territory. And they set up for a 31-yarder. Lopez knocks it through, and Hallandale escapes. 38-36.
Lopez is the man of the hour. And if they got a party tonight, Lopez better show up.
Absolutely. Got to give credit, though, to Boynton Beach. They hung in there. Jackson led them. Did all he could. But
well, Chris Jenkins and Glenn Stout here with Ryan Stout as directing and switching, and Bob Webster upstairs on the main camera. Folks, thank you so much for hanging in here with us. Internet speed in Hallandale is very far between. We were holding on by a thread. You held on with us. Thank you for bloggers all around the country for joining us. It doesn't get any better than this when you can get Larry Bluestein in for a full halftime interview. Thank you, Blue. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Chris Jenkins. And don't forget, next week, high school football prime time from Deerfield Beach, Florida. We're covering Monarch, who is loaded up as well, against Coconut Creek, who we saw last week. And then don't forget, 2 weeks from then, November 15th, we will be at the state championship game for the Independent Southeastern Conference, covering Coral Springs Charter and Calvary at FAU. This is Glenn Stout. Chris, take it over.
all right, my friend, you've been watching South Florida High School football on HSPN Sports. We've been coming to you live from Hallandale Beach, Florida. Thanks for watching. This District Showdown has been brought to you tonight by BleacherSports.com. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Make sure you continue to follow the action on HSPN. It's the #1 source for broadcasting high school sports and events in the nation. We thank you for your support and the support of the Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation. Make sure you stay up to date with HSPN, all our partners, and our social media platforms. For Glenn Stout, I'm Chris Jenkins. We're going to bid you good night. We'll see you next week. Thanks.